All right, I gotta refresh. Gotta refresh. Gotta refresh. It is not live for me right now. Let me fucking. Whoops. There we go. Okay, let me see if this works. Maybe we'll do this. It's working. Go for it. Okay, that looks like it's working. Let me mute that. Pull up the chat. Okay.
All right.
Hello, X. Just give me a few minutes, X. We're just waiting a few minutes, setting everything up, waiting for people to join, things like that. Welcome to the stream. I gotta pull up. Let me send the link out to people. So we're good. I will say, X, you joined mad quick. Welcome. Okay. Good. That's good. I need the link. Here we go. Quote. Join. Up. There we go. Tweet is up. There we go. Let me put this in these servers. DBM's going to want to see this for sure. Up. That is not how you spell that.
Yeah.
Give me a second here, buddy. We're just going to wait a few minutes for people to join up. There we go. We put it in Yates server. Up. Okay. After that, we're just going to be fucking waiting. Wait like 10 minutes, I guess, 5-10 minutes for us to start. Boom, boom. There we go. Max went to the bat. Oh, Max, are you on my stream right now?
Yeah.
The volume's okay and everything? All right.
I mean the audio, the stream audio.
The stream audio, yeah, the stream audio. Like, y'all hear me okay? Yep. Yeah. Oh, Nano's here. Nano, yep. Don't worry. We're going to be here for a while, baby. I'm hungry as fuck, too. I got the water. I got everything set up. We're just waiting. We're just waiting for people to join up. That's what Total's doing. Oh, no. I'm making food. I have to make 20 minutes on fries, a hot chicken sandwich. No, I'm waiting. I could wait. Don't worry.
My mom's getting Panera.
Nice. I work first, then I eat. So for those who are here, welcome. We're just waiting for more people to join up. We'll be started in like 5, maybe 10-ish minutes tops. So, yep. Yep. Dear God is right. We got a lot to go over today. Nano, you have heard this pitch like a million times already, so. Oh, and then I'm already getting Discord notifs. That's fun for a fucking Undernight tournament. That is not even today. That's fun. It's for a team tourney. I don't
Not
do
even
team
remotely
tourneys.
related to this at all either.
Yep, it's okay. It happens, bro. You could barely hear me? Okay, hang on. I need fucking Total. Put me louder. X is saying to put me louder.
I mean, you could either put them louder or you could adjust your own mic input volume.
I already did.
Oh.
Hold on, I gotta.
There we go.
Check real quick.
There we go. Hello. Whoever joined up, hello.
That would be Reaper.
All right. Is it better, X, when I'm at 130? Is it better? Because if you could barely hear me, that's not good. So. But total, like, were you guys able to hear me okay on like on your end, like on the stream? Yeah. Okay. Uh, let me see how my post is doing before we continue. Before we start. Yeah. Fucking heat. Yeah. Shit. That's what I fucking figured.
Should I try and like promote it or and
You
like?
could if you want. It's fine. We're just waiting for some people to join. I'm already at 7 people. Better. Okay. X is saying it's better. All right. Of course, I want to even before we start, I want to thank all of y'all for joining. I want to thank all of y'all for watching this. We're just gonna get started real soon. Let me take some water. Some sweet hydration. Bro. All right. How is everyone? Everyone's good? We're doing good. Fuck, I'm nervous, bro. I'm more nervous now than when I was pitching it to the actual team. How the fuck does that work? At 46 we'll start. At 46 we'll start it. What the fuck smells? I think it's me anyway. Here we go. We have 2 more minutes. Let some people join up real quick. Make sure everything's great. How's your food total? You, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh damn. That sounds good actually.
Notable.
Ooh. That actually sounds good. That's fine, that's fine. Yeah, there's a sound. You guys ever hear what a black hole imploding sounds like? There you go. It's just total speaking. It's total eating, excuse me. Both, yeah. That's what I like to see. All right. Less than a minute, we'll be starting. Oh, okay, so I gotta be careful closing tabs and shit. Okay, good to know. How is everyone doing today? I don't know, Max, you're doing good? Nano, X, you guys are doing good? Emerald, you're doing good?
I'm existing. I
You're
tried to go
existing? That's all you
shopping
could
later.
ask for, man. That's all we could ask
Look,
for.
I tried to go shopping earlier today, and I got fucking yanked back home by force, basically. And
Oh
so
my god.
I didn't have a choice in it.
Yep. So, Emerald, you were not there for my pitch, were you, when I did it in the 8 server?
No, I was there. I just, for the most part, was kind of deafened during half of it because I was
That's
busy
fair.
handling
That's
some
fair.
things.
But we're gonna learn today, brother. We're gonna learn today.
Yippee!
X is anxious to see this. Yep, X is anxious. Nano is just existing. Nano just hates everything right now. All right.
And dude, that's so real now, though.
Yep. All right, let's get it started. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. I am Speez, or Speezinator. That's not how you spell it, though. Today, I will be pitching Homura versus Kurumi. So Homura Akemi from Madoka Magica, and then Kurumi Tokisaki from Date Alive. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a long one. So
I am
we'll start off
here
with
for it.
Homura. So what we're going to do is this matchup isn't the type of matchup that you could go over in 10 minutes, right? You kind of need to know both characters, like their stories and such. It's basically the main focal point of the matchup. So, working on your pitch, any advice? If I have to give you advice right now, I will say for the for the call. Well, we'll get to that later, but hopefully you can still join. So anyways, we're gonna go over the characters. Here, I'll give you some advice right now. Don't do it the way I did. I'm doing it now, okay? You have 10 minutes. This is not gonna fit in 10 minutes, okay?
I think
Anyway,
we have to like discuss like why you want the
yes.
matchup, not the
In terms
character.
of the call specifically, talk about why you like the matchup itself. Don't talk too much about the characters or the lore. Talk about why you like the matchup. That's what the call itself was about. For your presentation, go ham with it. You send it to them after anyway. That's my advice for you. Anyway, let's start. So we're going to go over both characters individually, like their story arcs and all that, because we kind of need to know it, right? So we'll start with Homura, since she's pretty much the more well-known one of the two. So who is Homura? Homura Akemi is from the series called Toyamaji Madoka Magica, released in 2011. It's written by Gen Urobuchi and animated by Studio Shaft. It has 12 episodes that got adapted into 3 movies, with a 4th on the way. The series itself is known for its visuals, its soundtrack, its themes, and for being much darker than the typical magical girl show. Many actually see it as a deconstruction of the genre. Both are being promoted as, and starting off, very generic and lighthearted, but gets increasingly darker as more and more reveals start to occur. Homura is its fan favorite character, and over the course of the series becomes one of its focal characters. I could just do this. There we go. So, at first glance, Mitakihara City seems like your typical Japanese anime city, right? So tall buildings, nice people, alien talking cats, all of that shit, right? But underneath this anime paradise lies an evil, a curse, if you will. Malevolent beings that feed on our very negativity. Car accidents, suicide spots, versus threats on the internet, Omni-Man Bardock. There's a good chance one of these witches will be hiding. Their labyrinths undetectable by normal people. And one day, Homura Akemi was unfortunate enough to find herself in one of these labyrinths. Now, poor Homura here, her life fucking sucks, okay? She's bad at school, bad grades, bad at sports, all of that. Why? Because of a heart condition she had for most of her life. And this got so bad that Homer was like, maybe it'd be better off dead. Well, maybe her prayers were about to be answered until she was saved. Homer came in contact with a being in white named Kyubei, this fucker in the middle. And her life was saved by two magical girls, beings capable of fighting these witches. It's their jobs. Mami Tomoe, and more importantly, Madoka Kaname. Homura's life was saved that day, gaining not only admiration for these girls, but also something Homura never had before, a friend. What's up, hamster? What's up? What's up? Over the next few weeks, Homura's new life seemed brighter, each day getting better and better. Mommy and Madoka became people Homura looked up to. Their bravery and kindness, not to mention how strong they were, left Homura in awe. And over the course of the next few weeks, they would show Homura the ropes of becoming a macho girl, the ins and outs, if you will. And they seemed unstoppable until one fateful day on April 30th, while Purgisnacht attacked, the most powerful witch of all time. Safe to say, Madoka and Mommy fought very hard, and technically won, but they were about to die. And Homura's number one friend was gone, right? As Homura was about to give up on everything, remember that talking cat we talked about earlier? Well, his name is Kyubei, and he has the power to grant wishes. And in exchange for basically doing Madoka's job, fighting the witches and all that, he's going to make you into a magical girl. Homura showed no hesitation, and she knew exactly what her wish will be. She would go back in time to redo her meeting with her. This time, however, instead of being protected, she'd be the one doing the protecting. So, okay, great. He made her a magical girl. How did Kyubei do this? Well, he gave Homura what's called a soul gem. What is a soul gem? Well, essentially what Kyubei does is literally take your soul out of your body and place it in your soul gem. Basically, it houses your soul. When you're not transformed in your regular outfit, it's like a little orb, like this. When you're transformed into your magical girl outfit, it takes apart as a piece of your clothing. Now, a magical girl's power is dependent on two things. Before you're a girl, it's your potential or your karmic destiny, and your emotions. So, the PSP calls it emotional value. So, what is karmic destiny? Also, your potential. Basically, this is before you become a girl. It's basically how much influence you have over other people. Be popular, have lots of people like you, being important in people's lives will ramp up your karmic destiny and your potential, basically making you a more powerful magical girl. So what is your emotional value? Basically, the more emotional you are during a fight, the more powerful your magic. However, there is a drawback. As the higher your emotional value, your soul gem will gain impurities and corrupt faster. And obviously, if it corrupts too fast, you can't use magic anymore. Also, since your soul gem literally houses your soul, any damage to it kills you. So, okay, what can magical girls do, right? Well, on top of, enhanced strength, speed, durability, basically the typical, basically any character in fiction has this. You get basic telepathy. You can enhance regular objects with magic. You can detect other witches and magical girls. You can fire projectiles. You could create barriers. An interesting one though is that because your soul isn't in your body anymore, you could fuck that fucker up as much as you want. Cut off your arm, cut off your leg, slice your body in half. It doesn't matter. As long as your soul gem is intact, you could use magic to regenerate basically all of it. However, the most unique part is the magical girl has a unique ability tied to her wish. So Homura's wish to go back in time and protect Madoka takes the form of a circular shield that doubles as a sand timer. When the flow of sand is stopped, time around Homura stops. Basically, it's a time stop. The amount of time sand on the timer is about 1 month's worth. When it runs out, 1 month's worth of time is turned back. This basically means that the further into the month that you go, basically closer to the Walpurgis fight, the less and less you could time stop. There is one more drawback, however, and that's that anyone who comes into physical contact with Homura is immune to the time stop's effects. However, there is another positive outside of the time stop. She can actually store stuff inside her shield. Basically, her weapons. What kind of weapons does she like to use? Guns, 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 and more guns, baby. Homura's preferred method of fighting is guns. In her attempts to save Monica, she's raided mafia camps, military bases, all that. And she's had guns for days. We're talking pistols, assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, RPGs, rocket launchers, pipe bombs, a golf club, a volleyball setting machine, a net gun. You name it, it's a gun. Yeah, it's a gun. She has it. So in this new timeline, Homura would fight witches alongside Madoka, Mami, and fellow magical girls Sayaka and Kyoko. Newfound powers and allies were still not enough, however, as by the time meeting Walpurgis again, only Madoka and Homura were left. Their fight won, but again back to square one, as Madoka's soul gem was about to corrupt. And that's when Homura learned the truth. Remember that Cube guy we talked about, the guy that could grant wishes? Well, it turns out he is an incubator. What are incubators? Basically an alien species who make it their mission to prevent the heat death of the universe, also called entropy. And to do this, they needed energy. And in this search, this led them to Earth. And they found exactly what they're looking for. The perfect energy we needed. The emotions of teenage girls, baby. More specifically, when they turn into despair. And that's when Madoka and Homura found out that, hey, so you see those witches you guys were fighting? Those are actually magical girls. And basically, what we're doing is creating an endless cycle of we make a wish, you inevitably turn into a witch or die. We take that energy and we use it to preserve the universe. Unfortunately, these pesky girls, for some reason, weren't happy with that, right? They weren't happy being fucking cattle for a higher cause. So when Madoka found this out, she's like, hey, Homura, I know you have this ability to go back in time. So could you go back and like make it so I never made my wish in the first place? By the way, I hear the fucking vacuum total.
That's
So Homer, it's you, Max. Sorry. So Homer went back again and again and again and again. No matter how many times it takes, no matter how many sins she had to bear, it was all irrelevant to her. It did not matter how people viewed her actions. It didn't matter the cost. She will save Madoka, even if it costs her her soul. According to Word of God, aka Gen Oribuchi, the writer, horror has repeated that month almost 100 times. Each timeline making her colder and more distant with each and every time she went back. This made her an outcast not only to her allies and once friends, but Madoka herself. Someone who seemed cruel and cold. Someone who rarely spoke, but when she did, was either indifferent or straight up hostile. But Homura didn't care. If having her once allies and friends hate her, and that was the burden she had to bear, then so be it. This is where we get one more big reveal. Turns out, resetting time over and over again had another effect. What do I mean? Well, remember that bit of karmic destiny we talked about earlier? Well, it turns out Madoka being at the center of every single one of Homura's timelines ramped up her potential more and more and more and more. By the anime's timeline, it got to the point that not only was Madoka the most powerful magical girl of all time, but as Kyuubi reminded Homura, he said, hey, you just gave me the most powerful witch of all time. That's bad enough, right? Well, it turns out, in Madoka Magica fashion, it gets worse. You see, Kyuubi tricked Homura again because Homura fucked herself. She's in a paradox. Turns out, it's actually impossible for her to save Madoka because the second she does, there's no reason for you to go back in the first place. So, oh shit, I'm in a fucking paradox. Turns out, Homura cannot stop, ever. The second she stops, her soul gem corrupts, she gives up. All of this weighing on her during her last fight with Walpurgis, where her sand timer actually ran out during the fight. So, fuck me. I can't even go back anymore. I'm out of time. I'm screwed. Homura's journey had reached its end. As she was about to give up, however, Madoka Kaname showed up at the very last second with a newfound resolve and a final wish. A wish that would put an end to the never-ending struggle, not just for Homura, but for magical girls as a whole. You see, Madoka's wish was simple. She wanted to erase all witches before they were born, past, present, and future. every magical girl across all of time would be spared the despair of becoming a witch. In Monika's eyes, she didn't want anyone to believe in the hope of magical girls to despair anymore. So Monica would put an end to all of it. The thing is, you guessed it, this created another paradox, as this would also mean erasing Monika's own witch. But wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because I exist across all of time. So what the fuck is happening here, right? And I'm permanently a magical girl for fucking life. My witch has to permanently exist, but I wish for my witch to go away. This paradox is what leads to Monica ascending to basically becoming a god. But more importantly, this leads to the creation of the law of cycles. What is the law of cycles? In layman's terms, it's magical girl heaven. Whenever a soul gem is about to give into despair, instead of becoming a witch, Monica would shoulder the burden on herself, and the girl will be taken into heaven, the law of cycles. This applies to every magical girl across all of time, in every timeline, past, present, and future, essentially making it an extra dimensional concept. Unfortunately, because you're a concept now, this means that no one will ever be able to see or even remember who she was ever again. As Kurumi put it, she would never be able to affect the world at all. This fact devastated Homura, but Monica reassured her that no matter what, she would be watching over everyone, that hope will always win over despair, and that one day they would meet again. This led to the creation of a new universe. Welcome to Wraith Arc, baby. Now, in this new universe, what's up, Lantern? In this new universe, witches are no more. However, curses still exist. In fact, now they take a new form. Instead of witches, we get wraiths. They're not exactly the same though, because unlike witches, wraiths don't hide in labyrinths. What they do is they feed on the emotions of regular people by emitting a miasma or a fog. Thus, you're still undetectable, so this is what magic girls fight now. The bigger picture, however, is that because Madoka is a concept now, Homer's wish to protect her isn't a thing anymore. Her shield does not work. However, long story, when the Wraiths stole her shield, they were able to use its time-stopping effects, but that's story for another day. So, okay. You don't have your shield anymore, so what do you have? You have a new wish, and with it, a new power. Instead of being the one to protect Madoka, instead, she would be the one to she would pierce the ones that threaten Madoka's new world. And instead of the shield of time manipulation, Homer has the bow of memory manipulation. Basically, it lets her manipulate memories. The way she uses the bow itself, if you've ever seen any of the spin-offs or any of the way Madoka uses her bow, that's basically the way Homer could use hers. So, okay, new universe, new power, memory manipulation, all of that, right? Despite all this, however, no one would remember who Madoka or the Law of Cycles was, not even the Incubators, who out of curiosity wanted to prove if Homer's theory was really true. And when one of the Incubators got a piece of Homer's shield, basically their proof of the old world, they had a plan. Would she get that for the fight? Yes, she would. If this Madoka Kaname and the Law of Cycles really existed, then maybe they could control it. But they needed to draw her out first. They needed to get access to it. How would they do this? Well, they would capture Homura, place her soul gem in an isolation field that's meant to block out the Law of Cycles effects. This strain would cause her to turn into a witch without Homura even realizing it. In this form, she would manage to create an entire labyrinth that resembled Mitakihara almost perfectly. Now, this caught the attention of Ultimate Madoka, but unfortunately, because the isolation field is blocking out the Law of Cycles, I can't interfere. It's blocking me out. So what did she do? She sent her friend Sayaka and Nagisa inside. While in there, however, Homer managed to warp everyone's memories so that she believed that she and her friends were fighting beings called nightmares. However, the most important part is that in this journey, Homer shares one last conversation with Madoka, at least one of Madoka's avatars, who tells her that Madoka would never accept leaving her friends and family, even if she didn't have a choice to, making Homer realize that she cannot accept Madoka's sacrifice. This gets worse, though, in typical Madoka Magica fashion, as Homer later found out just what the Incubators were planning, that once again, she was a pawn in their game. And once Homer found out her plan of, hey, we're going to draw out Madoka and capture her to control her, Homer said, fuck this. I'm going to turn into a witch willingly, forsaking her very salvation to the Law of Cycles just so that Madoka could be safe, even if it meant never seeing her again. Thus, Homura turned into Homulily, the Nutcracker Witch. So Homura is a witch. However, Madoka and her friends manage to rescue her by destroying the stasis barrier and returning everyone to reality. The best part, the convenient part, hello Thid, is that, hey, because you only turned to a witch inside your soul gem, in reality, you're completely fine. Sure, I guess. So everything turns out, right? So Monica's, I can save you now. We can live happily ever after, right? Come on, guys. It's Madoka Magica. We know how the fuck this shit works. We all know what happens next. Just as Madoka is about to cleanse Homura's soul gem, Homura grabbed Madoka first, separating Madoka from her goddess self, basically cracking reality in the process. Homura's soul gem gone and replaced with what's called a dark orb, taking the form of neither a magical girl nor a witch. As Homer put it, she is someone who took down God. Basically, such a person can only be called a devil, and hence, Devil Homura was born. Also taking the opportunity to rewrite the universe in her own image, essentially becoming its new ruler, or its new god, quote unquote. However, it's important to note that this is very important. Homura isn't Madoka. What do I mean by this? Well, unlike Madoka, Homura never becomes part of the law of cycles, nor does she take Madoka's place in it. As Homura herself says in both Rebellion and in Maji Record, she only took the fragments of Madoka before she was a god. All she did was take Madoka out. That's all it did. That's all she did. And the proof of this is that Homura, unlike Madoka, Homura actually exists in this new universe. She's able to interact, to speak, to communicate, and more importantly, technically can be harmed. You could interact with her. That's the biggest difference. Now, it's also important to note that we do not know the full extent of Devil Homura's abilities. However, we have seen, for example, manipulating memories and also some limited form of reality warping. Maybe not on Madoka's tier, but we're still talking about someone who rewrote the universe. What's interesting to note, though, is that in this new world, not only is Madoka given a happier life, but so are the rest of the girls, Homura's once called friends. But Homura knows this world can't last forever. That one day, even someone like Madoka, who prioritized stability and order over personal desire, will eventually become her enemy. Until that day comes, however, Homura will ensure that no one will ever come to harm Madoka or this new world. She will be protected, for Homura is not like any other devil. This one is tied by something much more powerful than any curse. What powers Homura, what powers this devil, is love. So, okay, that was Homura. Any questions about Homura before we move on to Kurumi? Any questions at all? I'll sip some water while I wait for you guys to type. Any thoughts? Anything? Any questions? I'm willing to answer any of it.
Is this
When's
series
the
still
movie coming
ongoing, or is
out?
it- Oh,
Next winter 2025,
Let's
also
go.
called Cope.
Let's
is the
go,
series still
baby.
ongoing, or it ended?
I
What do you
mean,
mean?
due to the fact that the movie is not out yet, it is by all counts technically still
So,
ongoing.
okay, there's kind of like back and forth between that. So, the trailers for the movie say the beginning of a new chapter. However, Gen has stated, like years ago, that he intends this movie to be the end of the quintet's like saga of Madoka Magica. Like after movie 4, the story of like Madoka and Homura should be done. I think what new chapter means is basically just we're gonna start like new characters, new cast, all that. That's what I think it means. But uh, okay, so Eon, if you're wondering if you should mute, I'm going over the entirety of Kurumi's arc. This includes spoilers for the ending of the series. So, if you don't want spoilers, well, ending of the series, I totally don't do past with the anime data, but if you don't want spoilers, I recommend that you, would Homework get Doppel? Okay. Well, we know, Lantern, we were researching Madoka, that Doppels are exclusive to Kamihama. I personally think you can. I would, but I think you can. I don't think it plays a role in the outcome anyway. It is a fact that the more you use your Doppel, the more you lose control over it. So even if you wanted to give it to Homura, you can't use it for too long anyway. That's the way I see it. Basically the way I see it. Basically Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to bring up Doppel's Lantern, there you go. You can use it. I think we're bringing it up in the blog, but it should be noted it's exclusive to Kamihama. And Homer's only been in Kamihama once, which is during the Maji record timeline. So that's it. Anyway, Let me take a breath. I'm talking a lot. Excuse me. So,
Get
all
a
right.
drink of water too. Get a drink.
Yeah.
Another drink.
Why mommy no head? I don't know, man. Mommy's an idiot, bro. Mommy has no head, figuratively and literally. He's insane, bro. And you think I'm joking? It's literally a thing where in every timeline, mommy's either destined to either die to Charlotte or go insane. That's actually what's destined to happen in all 100 timelines. Either way, she doesn't have a head.
Sucks to be her.
Yep, it does. Anyway,
Oh, wait, is she gonna die again?
probably.
Yes.
Who is Kurumi? Here we go. So Kurumi Tokisaki is from the anime series called Data Live. And before anyone asks, no, this is not Kurumi. That is Toka. That is our
Then
main
why is
heroine.
she here?
Yes, in my heart. So written by Koshi Tachibana and illustrated by Tsunako. The first volume releasing in 2011. Go figure. The series spans 22 main series light novels and 11 encore side story compilations. The anime starting in 2013, airing up to 58 episodes spanning over 5 seasons, adapting 19 out of the 22 light novels. The series is known for its character designs, its soundtrack, its foreshadowing, and guess what? Being much darker than the typical harem show. Guess what? Many see it as a deconstruction. Both are being promoted as and starting off very generic and lighthearted, but getting increasingly darker as we learn more and more about the spirits and the world. Kurumi is the fan favorite character, and over the course of the series becomes one of its focal characters. Who joined?
Lantern joined.
Oh, what's up, Lantern?
Just deafened, so Lantern can't hear you.
Yeah, it's almost like fan favorite characters who do good. Exactly. So, all right, how it all started? It all started 30 years ago. The Eurasian continent was created with a blinding light, followed by a massive ear-splitting explosion that killed over 150 million people. The Eurasian sky disaster. Months later, the same thing would happen all across the world. These space quakes are much like giant explosions, erasing everything in its path and leaving nothing but a giant crater. But what are space quakes exactly? Well, what the general public doesn't know is that space quakes aren't just random explosions. They mark the arrival of a spirit, a being from a neighboring world, basically a separate dimension. Spirits are very dangerous beings, very powerful beings, and every time one appears, a spacequake would happen. In order to prevent this, many organizations were formed to deal with them. DEM, AST, Ratatosker, all of that. However, they could never agree on how to deal with them. Now, DEM and AST, hey, these spirits are evil. We see them, we kill them. It's on sight. No questions asked, we take them the fuck out. But then you have organizations like Ratatosker who say, hey, these spirits are human. They could be communicated with. Maybe we could live amongst them. We could protect them. We could give them peaceful lives. They could live with us. Amongst all their discrepancies, despite all their differences, however, across all these organizations, there is one thing they all have in common. There's one commonality. The existence of one spirit in particular. You see, this spirit has killed over 10,000 people. The scariest part? Only 100 were through spacequakes. This spirit preferred to kill with her bare hands. This reputation earned her the codename Nightmare. This is Kurumi Tokisaki, the worst spirit. But who was she before she became the worst spirit? Well, we find out that Kurumi, like all spirits, was once human, daughter of a rich family and loved by everyone. Kurumi's life was fucking great. She lived out her peaceful days with her best friend, Sawa Yamauchi. Now, Kurumi's reputation was the exact opposite of Homura's. Kurumi was good at school, good grades, good at sports. Guys hit on her all the time. Her reputation was an unimaginable beauty. However, the main thing that defined Kurumi above all else was a very keen sense of justice. Kurumi always wanted to help those in need, almost to a fault, particularly towards cats. Kurumi fucking loves cats. As great as Kurumi's life is, however, there's one teeny tiny problem. You see, Kurumi is a Japanese high school girl. What does that mean? Well, you get attacked by a monster. It just happens, bro. And as Kurumi's life was about to end, her life was saved by, you guessed it, a being in white. This was not a cat, however. This is a girl who addressed herself as Mio Takayama, and she calls herself an ally of justice. Mio told Kurumi that monster, its sole purpose is to basically destroy the world, and that it was Mio's job as a hero of justice to fight them. And more importantly, she went to Kurumi and said, "Hey, do you want me to give you power like mine so you could fight these beings too?" Now, any ordinary person would have said, "Yeah, I go home. I'm tired. You're crazy. Bye bye." However, for reasons Kurumi isn't even sure of herself, she accepted. And thus, Mio gave Kurumi the power she would need to protect the ones she cared about. And thus, Kurumi's life was changed. But what did Mio do exactly? Well, she gave Kurumi what's called a Sephira crystal, a gem that acts as the source of a spirit's powers and is the main thing responsible for turning humans into spirits. So, soul gems and sapphire crystals are not exactly the same, however. Unlike a soul gem where your soul gets pulled out of your body, a sapphire crystal bonds with you on a molecular level, basically meaning that it's impossible to remove without killing you. So what does a sapphire crystal do? It helps the spirit manipulate what's called Reiryoku, basically their version of mana. It's what fuels the spirit's powers, and you get the usual stuff: strength, speed, durability, create barriers. You could heal. You don't age. You don't need to eat or drink. You can survive the vacuum of space. All that stuff, right? However, the main way a spirit manipulates Reiryoku is in their astral dresses and their angels. Now, astral dresses are basically the outfits that they wear. It's basically equipable armor made out of pure Ryoku. Now, don't. This is Kurumi's right here. Now, don't let its appearance deceive you. A lot of them don't look very tough. However, keep in mind that because it's made out of pure magic, pure Ryoku, it's almost impenetrable to any normal human-made weapon. Only specialized weapons or either angels could deal with it, right? And even if they do get damaged, you can use Ryoku to regenerate it. Your angel is basically, if you're a Fate fan, your noble phantasm. It's your main weapon. Now, angels could take many forms depending on your crystal. We have a book, an axe, a sword, a piano, a bow, a puppet, anything basically. And it's Kurumi's angel that makes her one of the deadliest forces in the entire series. What is Kurumi's angel? Well, meet the Emperor of Time, Zafkiel. What is Zafkiel? Well, it takes the form of a giant circular clock that, alongside a short flintlock pistol and a musket that represent the clock's hands. Per its namesake, Zafkiel lets you manipulate time. The way it works, you see those hands on the clock, those numbers on the clock. Well, each number represents a different ability. Each number represents a different bullet. Each bullet represents time in a different way. So what does she do? She summons Zafkiel. She aims it at the number. She aims her pistol at the number. She draws its power. She fires. Time ability, right? However, there is one drawback. While most angels run a Ryoku, and in fact, Kurumi's astral dress also runs a Ryoku, her bullets are a different story. Kurumi's bullets run on time. What is time? Essentially, it's her life force. Her bullets cost her life force, basically. And each bullet costs a different amount. Now, all right, 12 bullets, right? Get ready. We're going over all 12. Now, the first two bullets, Aleph and Bet, are basically self-explanatory, not too complicated. The accelerate and slow the target's external time, making the target faster and slower. The third bullet, Gimel, accelerate the target's internal time, causing the target to age. The fourth bullet rewinds the time on a target. Now, what do I mean by this? We'll say, hey, random viewer in the chat, I'm pissed off one day, and I'm going to just say, I want to chop off Lantern's arm because I feel like it, right? Well, Lantern could just say, hey, I'm going to use the fourth bullet and rewind time on myself by 10 minutes. Basically, his body is going to go back to the way it was 10 minutes ago. It's mainly used for healing, but I like the term reversion more. You'll see what I mean later. The fifth bullet allows the target, Kurumi, to see the future. The sixth bullet, Vav, is when the wording really starts to matter. So the sixth bullet sends the consciousness of the target back in time. The seventh bullet, Zain, freezes the target's time. Basically, it's her version of a time stop. But instead of freezing time, she freezes the target. The eighth bullet creates temporal clones of the target. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Get used to, if you ever focus on getting into Data Live, get used to seeing the eighth bullet. This is the Doombot gimmick times a million. But what are Kurumi's clones? Kurumi's clones are basically past versions of herself, each with varying personalities and all that. While the clones will never outright betray Kurumi, they will piss her off. They have Kurumi's personality. If ever you don't want to see a double of you, you're going to see a double of you. The 9th bullet. So bear with me on this one. The wording is a bit weird. I'll dumb it down for you. Allows the target to share their senses with someone on a different time axis. What does that mean? Basically, it lets you view other timelines through the perspective of other people. Basically, what she'll do is I want to send someone to the past. I'll use that bullet on you, then send you back. So this way, when you're back in time, I could see your senses to that other timeline. That's basically what it does. It's basically you can see other timelines. The 10th bullet peeks into the target's past. Basically, she could view your memories and stuff. Now it's the 11th and the 12th bullet, Yud Aleph and Yud Bet, that are the big ones. Again, this is when the wording matters. The 11th bullet, Yud Bet, temporarily sends the target to the future, while the 12th bullet, Yud Bet, temporarily sends the target to the past. Now again, the wording matters. Notice how the 12th bullet and the 6th bullet are not the same. One sends your consciousness back. The other sends you back. How far back depends on how much time you put into the bullet. And that's a theme. We've talked about her bullets requiring time, but how does she replenish time? Well, on top of being the master of time, Kurumi is the master of shadows. Basically, Kurumi and her clones can enter and leave any shadow in a given area, as well as drag others into it. But what is her shadow exactly? More specifically, what's inside it? Well, what Kurumi's shadow actually is a completely separate multi-layered pocket dimension that she really manipulates. So, here's first is basically a storage closet where she puts her clones. Where Kurumi sends the target is the second layer, which is down and their time. And Kurumi is to the digest and takes out the. What happens when clones city of the is that it could extend the city, but what basically anyone gets their time drained passively. Even I'm lagging. I don't know what to do about. Yeah, what's up? Oh, you're back. Um. Anyways, yeah. So basically, her shadow. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Kurumi and her shadows. Kurumi and her clones can enter and leave any shadow in a given area. Basically, this is how she breaks down your time. What her shadow is a completely separate multi-layered pocket dimension that she freely manipulates. The laws of physics of time do not exist there. The layers are simple. The first is a storage closet. This is where she puts her clones. The second one is where the target goes. The target gets broken down. Their time gets extracted. Basically that. However, when she wants to target a larger crowd, she can summon what's called the City of Devouring Time. As the name implies, it is a barrier that could go to the size of a city. So basically, anyone caught inside this barrier has their time drained passively, even without the need to enter her shadow. While its main function is to drain time, it can also drain Reiryoku should Kurumi wish it. There is one more benefit though. Am I lagging out total or is it better now? I'm better now? Okay. So remember those space quakes we talked about? Those giant fuck off nukes? Well, turns out Kurumi could just create those whenever the fuck she wants, and her clones can too. And keep in mind, by the way, some of these space quakes are visible from space, so pretty damn powerful. Now, City Devouring Time is by far Kurumi's most powerful ability. However, it's important to note that the bigger she makes it, I'm not being timed here, Lantern, fuck off. The bigger she makes it, the more concentration it takes, and the lesser its effects are, meaning it can be resisted with enough power. However, this is why she rarely makes it the size of a city. She usually makes it a lot smaller, but much more condensed, making it a lot stronger. So naturally, with all these powers, Kurumi was really good at hunting spirits, killing or monsters, hunting over 50 of them with her time with Mio. It was her last kill, however, that would haunt Kurumi forever. One day, after dealing with a monster, Kurumi left Mio with taking care of the body, the usual. To Kurumi's horror, however, what lay on the ground was Sawa, her best friend, with Mio standing over her with a red Sephira crystal. and it didn't take Kurumi long to put 2 and 2 together. Sawa-chan was the monster Kurumi had killed. Kurumi had just killed her best friend. Confused and overwhelmed with despair, Mio decided that, okay, I'll reveal the truth to you now. Mio revealed herself and Kurumi that, hey, that monster you fought, those are spirits too. We're all spirits. However, Mio isn't any ordinary spirit. She's the first spirit, the spirit of origin. She also talked about how she was bonding humans with Sephira crystals, turning them into these monsters, having Kurumi kill them, and then taking those crystals, refining them to put them into more humans, and then repeating the process over and over and over again. Basically, Kurumi was a pawn. This revelation caused Kurumi to black out. When she woke up, she had no recollection of what happened. All she saw, there was a crater around her, AST wizards were coming after her, she had just caused a space quake. So she retreats and resolves to use the 10th bullet, Yud, to regain her memories back. And that's when she got rid of everything. Once her memory was back, her goal was set. She would use the 12th bullet, Yud Bet, to go back in time and kill the spirit of origin. Not only wiping her from existence, but every spirit. However, there's one problem. The 12th bullet requires a metric fuck ton of time. How much? Damn near her entire supply. So, I need time, right? So, she spent the next few years, along with her clones, draining the time of ordinary people. And over the years, this built up her body count. Because the problem is, ordinary people wouldn't be able to handle that much life being drained out of them, it would kill them, right? And unfortunately, humans aren't very good as a fuel source. So there was another problem, though, is that her increasing body count over the years gave her a reputation. And this led to AST and DEM often sending their wizards after her. Basically, their job is to hunt spirits. However, they were often no match. Every time a Kurumi was killed, another would just take her place. Her seemingly unkillable nature, plus her dangerous powers, are what led to her bearing the spirit name Nightmare. And thus, the worst spirit was born. And it wasn't long until Kurumi found out about our protagonist. Enter our protagonist, baby, Shido Itsuka. Kurumi found exactly what she was looking for in him. Here was a human who had the ability to seal the power of spirits by going on dates with them and making the spirits fall in love with them. Yup, welcome to Date Alive. You go. That's the spirit. That's the premise of Date Alive. Go. Here's a spirit. Go make her fall. Go on a date. Make her fall in love with you. Seal her powers by a kiss. Done. Right. Now, why is this relevant? Well, at this point, Shido had already sealed multiple spirits. He had sealed 2 spirits at that point. That's plenty of time for me to use, for me to go back and use the 30th bullet, right? So I need to get to him. I need to get to this guy. So she infiltrated his school under the guise of being a transfer student and attempted to lower his guard. And when the time was right, devour him. Her first attempt, however, did not go so well. Shido's pesky friends got in the way. However, their meeting did strike something within Kurumi. Unlike every other human or spirit who had feared her, Shido saw something inside of her, and in a shocking and idiotic move, Shido would not only protect her when she was in danger, but also vow to save her. Kurumi and Shido would often cross paths throughout the series, however, not always as enemies, but as more of a distant ally, always doing just enough to make sure Shido survived, but never getting anything past that. And as Shido's power over the course of the series grew and grew, Kurumi decided now was the time to act, to initiate her plan to claim Shido's power as hers. So Shido at this point had already sealed the power of 10 spirits inside of him. So 10 spirits inside of you, bruh. Now is the perfect time to strike, right? And don't forget, Shido was still resolving to seal Kurumi's power. So, knowing their crossroads, their crosspath, Kurumi presented Shido with a bet. She said, hey, Valentine's Day is in 6 days. On that day, we're going to go on a date. We're going to see who can make the other one fall in love with the other. If Shido won, Kurumi would offer her spirit power to him. No questions asked. Should Kurumi win, however, she would devour Shido, taking his power firsthand and go back in time to finish her mission. However, before Shido could accept or decline the bet, something happened. Shido died, killed by a DEM attack. His head and other body parts just cut clean off. This motherfucker is dead. To make it worse, turns out Shido and Kurumi were not alone. The other spirits were watching everything that happened. And despite Kurumi's best efforts of using doubt to try to bring him back, she pieced his body together, but she can't bring back the dead. It was too late to save him. And this realization caused Kurumi to wail in despair. However, there was another problem. She witnessed something far, far worse. She saw the spirit's reaction to his death. What happened? Well, we talked about Sephira crystals, the flow of Ryoku being tied behind your emotions, right? This could include emotions like despair. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this now. Whenever a spirit experiences severe negative emotions, their Sephira crystal turns into what's called a Qliphoth crystal. And they turn into what's called their inverse form. In this form, their mindset changes entirely. They become almost mindlessly destructive, to the point of it being almost impossible to distinguish friend and foe. Here's another little connection to a witch, though. According to Westcott, the head of DEM, and Mio, the Qliphoth crystal is actually the true form of a Sephira crystal, hence making the inverse spirits the default form of a spirit. Just like how Kyubey says that the witch is the true form of a magical girl. When inverse, their angels get replaced with what's called a demon king. Demon kings share many of the same similarities. However, they're often much more powerful and have inverse abilities compared to their angel counterparts. Now, it's important to note, we have never seen Kurumi inverse in the main canon. What I'm showing you is technically a separate entity. This is not really inverse Kurumi, but it's more of an example of what we could see if she went inverse. This is White Queen. Who is White Queen? White Queen is from a spin-off called Data Bullet. This is basically a Kurumi clone that died, went to the neighboring world, and possessed the body of Sawa. Yes, that same Sawa. And in that process, causing her to inverse. So, okay, that's what White Queen is. And instead of the Emperor of Time, Zafkiel, we have Lucifugus, the Demon King of Space. So like I said, inverse, right? So instead of time, Lucifugus manipulates space. So the way it functions is pretty similar. It's still a giant clock. And she can still create clones, speed herself up, all of that. However, now she has bullets that could cut through space. Basically like a teleport. She has a bullet that could basically existence erasure. What it does is the bullet will leave a trail path, and anyone who comes into contact with it gets erased. She even has a bullet that could, quote, reverse cause and effect. Whatever the fuck that means. Also, she has a sword. That's cool, too. So, okay. Why am I bringing this up? Like, inversing, right? Well, turns out, every spirit that saw Shido die inversed at the exact same fucking time. Basically, damn near the end of the world, right? So, refusing to let it end this way, Kurumi resolves to using the 6th bullet, VAP, to send her consciousness back in time to save Shido. However, Kurumi would fail again and again and again and again and again. That's right, we got another time loop on our hands. Kurumi at this point had gone back in time over 204 times. It's the 205th that would be different, however. As in this timeline, one of her clones had gone against the real Kurumi's wishes and tipped Shido and Ratatoskr on what had been happening. Did someone try to say something? Oh, sorry. Okay, so Shido knows now. And in an unexpected and bold move, he resolved not to hide in Sanctuary, but to fight DEM head-on alongside Kurumi and the other spirits. And thus, the war with DEM began. And it was in this war that Kurumi gained a new power from an old foe. When the head of DEM, Isaac Westcott, wasn't looking, Kurumi managed to get the sneak on him, taking the very Qliphoth crystal he had taken from another spirit, Nia, and using the 4th bullet on it to turn it back into a Sephira crystal and taking it for herself. Like I said, we talked about with the 4th bullet, we talked about reversion, where you could revert an object, a target, to the way it was before. So what she did was take the Qliphoth crystal and turn it back into a Sephira crystal. Keep that in mind. Okay. We have a second Sephira crystal. You know what a second Sephira crystal means? You guessed it, a second angel. So what is this angel now? This is the omniscient angel, Rasiel. So Rasiel, what is Rasiel? Rasiel takes the form of a book, and it grants 3 abilities. The first is what's called future entry. Basically, whatever is written inside this book is treated as fact, and hence will become reality. Now, the extent of what you could write is theoretically infinite and unlimited. However, you must actually take the time to write down what you want to happen. Also, you could resist it with enough magic power. Its second ability, Astrophilia, can trap its targets inside its pages, transporting you to a fictional world completely separate from our reality, basically making you a fictional character. It's the third ability, however, that Kurumi finds, and most characters find the most useful. Excuse me. Per its namesake, Rasiel is completely omniscient, basically acting like a Google that fits in your hand. It gives the user any piece of information you want. Anything. Anything that has ever happened, no matter where or when, Rasiel will know about, including including outside spaces like spiritual barriers and pocket dimensions completely separate from our reality. Rasiel will know it. And again, the extent of information that could be given is close to infinite. Its only drawbacks is that Rasiel is limited to objective fact. So you can't ask it subjective questions. Basically, what people are thinking. You can't ask about the future because the future you're making the future. You can't ask how do I handle the situation because there's a million ways to handle the situation that's subjective, right? So Rasiel is limited to objective fact. So you could ask about what's the source of a character's powers, who are they? You could ask things like that. So, despite all her abilities, however, Kurumi became one of the hardest hitters in the series, but perhaps her biggest achievement isn't anything related to any power she possesses or any opponent she's defeated. Her greatest challenge was learning to trust others. But perhaps Shido's faith in her wasn't that far-fetched. Was Kurumi really the nightmare that preceded her reputation? Well, as Shido called out, why didn't Kurumi just eat him from the beginning? What was the point of going back in time if she could just taken the power for herself right then and there, even when Shido was dead? Why even help him throughout his adventures, rarely asking for anything in return? Hell, most of that 10,000 body count we talked about? Murderers, rapists, animal abusers. Yes, Kurumi had committed unforgivable sins, but that would all be undone when things went back in time, right? Perhaps what Shido saw in Kurumi wasn't some heartless spirit. He saw not only the sense of justice that Kurumi had long thought gone, he saw someone who was scared, but more importantly, someone who could love, who could be loved and loved back. Questions and thoughts Kurumi would think to herself as the war with DEM kept going on. And in that war, Shido made one last proposal. What if Kurumi gave him the power to go back in time and make Mio fall in love with him instead of Kurumi going back and killing her? This way, instead of just undoing everything, everyone would be happy together, right? Our meeting with each other would not be undone. Now, normally, Kurumi would scoff at the very idea, right? Yeah, this is dumb. But this time, it seemed plausible. Was it really? Well, what Kurumi could never admit, Shido was the first human since Sawa in a long time who saw Kurumi for who she was. Someone who could save her from herself. And I think what Kurumi just never realized, or maybe was never willing to admit, was that her bet with Shido was already lost. And it was in this newfound trust in Shido that became crucial when, during the war, the spirit of origin herself, Mio, had made her reappearance. You see, Mio had planned to sacrifice all the spirits, including Kurumi, in order to bring back the one she loved. Sound familiar? Uh, Being the spirit of origin, she was the one who created the Sephir crystals and the angels in the first place. This was Kurumi's chance. The revenge she had longed for all along was right in front of her. Even someone like Mio, a spirit who could manipulate reality itself, basically Data Life's god, considered Kurumi a threat. Not for her destructive power, but the mind she possesses. Hell, Kurumi had already outsmarted her multiple times already. When both times when Mio thought she was dead, it was, hey, I gave a Sephir crystal to my clone. Hey, I sent my clone to the future, so you only thought it was dead, right? So, okay, even Spirit Data Life God is considering you a threat. Despite this very chance to pursue her revenge, it's right in front of her, Kurumi did the unthinkable. And as Shido was preparing to confront Mio, Kurumi gave in, willingly letting Shido seal her power in order to confront Mio herself, trusting him to save the world. Kurumi had finally found something she had long lacked: allies, comrades, friends. And Kurumi's trust was rewarded. as Shido was successful in having Mio change her ways. And together, along with Shido, Mio, and all the other spirits, they all fought together against Westcott, who made himself the second spirit of origin. Don't act too surprised, by the way. Guess who made the first spirit of origin? Fucking Westcott. And it turns out Mio and Westcott took each other out. So Mio and Westcott are both dead. Kurumi's quest for revenge was finally over, but she'll never be dormant for long. For now that she has her friends and a newfound appreciation for life and the new world, Kurumi will do whatever it takes to preserve it. There is no hell deep enough for those who obstruct Kurumi's justice. They will see firsthand what a nightmare truly looks like. Not born from anger or vengeance. No. This time, the worst spirit has something far scarier. The most sacred treasure of all. Love. And that was Kurumi. Any questions on her before we talk? We could actually talk about the matchup now. Any thoughts? Anything?
I would like to unmute for a moment and just say we have finally hit 1 hour and we got to potential. I repeat, 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour in. Let's go.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's go.
I'm going back to unmute.
I was listening and trying not to fall asleep.
Also, damn.
Any questions? Anybody? Chat? Anybody? Any questions? Any questions on the Kurumi? No. Emerald, Madoka, any questions? No.
I really like how you trust other.
I don't really have any questions I can ask.
All right. Well, yeah, guys, bear with me. Bear with me. We can actually talk about the matchup now. Don't worry. We can actually talk about the matchup now. We are free.
Yep.
Yay.
Okay. So this slide is basically you can unmute now. You can unmute. You didn't have to mute. Yeah, I know X. We're going into it now. Don't worry. Now we can get it. We're slide 39. We can actually get into the matchup now. Don't worry. We can actually get into the matchup now. Okay, so this slide specifically is just the table of contents. What we're going to be going over. Basically, it's thematics, its legacy aspect, the animation potential. Both have major projects airing, and of course the track. So we'll start with the connections, right? Now, most of you guys by now, if you've been paying attention, should get the general gist of the matchup. You guys get it by now, right? The idea was that you guys would get the connections by me just talking about the characters. That was the idea. If you want the full list of connections, they're right fucking there. But as you can see, both have a lot in common. Not only sharing similar backstories and roles throughout their stories, but also share a very easy to understand theme. Basically, Homura vs. Kurumi is a battle of tragic chronokinetic anime gunslingers, which is already a premise Death Battle hasn't done before. Time powers being the main theme of the episode already is new to the show, but I think an analysis focusing on not just their time powers, but also their motivations and their burdens that they place on themselves has the potential to be something very intriguing and has the potential to not only shed a new light on characters who many misunderstand, but also be one of the most emotional analysis sessions Death Battle has ever done. To be fair, Cryo, the idea was that you would get the connections by me talking about the characters. That was the idea. They have a lot of connections. However, what if I told you guys it's not the connections that carry the matchup to me? It's not the connections that really propel it, that make it interesting. To me, it's their contrasts. What do I mean by this? I think it's the main selling point is how much they differ. Not only in terms of their different and opposing ideologies, but also their stories go in opposite paths. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's look at it. While Homura became more distant and closed herself off as her story progressed, Kurumi learned to open up more and trust others, becoming an ally to Shido and the other spirits. As a result, Homura's story culminates in not accepting Madoka's sacrifice, actually separating her from her goddess self and taking a fraction of her power. As a result, she's considered an enemy to the very people she once cared for and considered her friends. Even the very person she swore to protect, Madoka, will become her enemy one day. Kurumi, on the other hand, actually trusted Shido enough to give him her spirit power in order to confront Mio, and as a result, she's surrounded by her friends and the other spirits, while Homura, is completely alone. And I think this comes down to the core of their characters. Homura is someone who prioritized personal desire over order and stability, while Kurumi never lost her sense of justice, no matter how bad things got. And I think an analysis focusing on this part, not only what they have in common, but how they differ. I think it's something that could be very cool. The last time we saw something like that was what, like Cable Booster Gold, I think, like something like that, where it's the opposite path. Not only how they're the same, but different. And this could apply not only to the analysis, but the fight as well. But speaking of the fight, let's talk about this. Now, anybody look at Magic a fan, this is going to be the obvious part to you, right? In terms of fight dynamic, there is a very, very, very obvious example to pull from in terms of flow and choreography. To be frank, a Homura fight, in my opinion, on the show, basically Shido succeeded, yeah. But I think it came down to the core of their characters, where, again, Kurumi, actually, I think what it comes down to is their sense of justice. Kurumi had that sense of justice that Homura lacked. That's what the difference was. Anyway, to be frank, a Homura fight has to pull from her fight with Mommy and Rebellion. We have to talk about the Mommy fight, right? It's the main way the fight's gonna go, right? And out of all of Homura's matchups, let's be honest here, Kurumi fits that role the best for very, very, very obvious reasons, right? On top of being a fellow gunslinger, like Mommy, who also uses muskets, you also have Kurumi's abilities with Zafkiel and her clones. This means you not only get a fast-paced, high-octane gunfight that gravitates the Mommy fight, but also some of the faster-paced Data Live fights. And also, hell, what about Kurumi versus White Bullet, the war with DEM, Homura versus Mommy, Homura versus Walpurgis Knot? I mean, you cannot tell me a Homura versus Kurumi army fight sounds fucking awesome. Let's be real. This could also extend to certain money shots that could reference both. We're going to tell later. However, I think one underrated aspect is the art styles of both. We all know about Madoka Magica's art style. It's one of the things it's known for. It's more darker, it's more weird, it's out there. In my opinion, this could mesh really well with some of the Data Live light novel artwork, where Sunako kind of went ham with it. Where Kurumi looks outright fucking dangerous, like outright demonic in some of these. And I think it's really cool. And what I mean by money shots and stuff like this. So obviously we talk about referencing both. Obviously the obvious reference is the Homura fight with Mommy and Rebellion, the famous shot where they're gun locked and we have the bullet stopped in time. Obvious. We have Kurumi seeing somebody Zafkiel for the first time. That could obviously be referenced. By the way, shouts out to Origin for the sprite art. One idea I like being referenced is maybe the middle one. I always love the idea, and Ben and Chad love this idea too, of a gun kata bit with Homura fighting Mommy, but like instead of Mommy, it's Kurumi. A little gun kata bit, and maybe just a faster pace, like time shenanigans. Now, there's a lot you could reference. We could talk about animation and all that stuff all day. The hand-drawn stuff, all that stuff. That could be done all day. We could talk about it all day. However, in my opinion, the best fights are the ones that tell stories. Thankfully, this matchup has the potential to be one of the most intriguing and emotional stories Death Battle has ever done. And again, not because of their commonalities, not because of their connections, but because of their contrasts. But what do I mean by this? Well, to be frank, Kurumi hates the type of person that Homura is. Someone who prioritizes personal desire over doing what's right. Someone who Kurumi thinks is willing to sacrifice everything, even her best friend's happiness, to achieve her goal. This is the very type of person Kurumi swore as her arch enemy. Basically, Kurumi is going to see Homura and get reminded of Mio, while Homura is going to view Kurumi as a hypocrite. Someone who she thinks isn't in any position to talk. Someone who Homura thinks has no way of knowing the stuff Homura has gone through. Someone who should, and more importantly, someone who should be considered a threat. You know, right? Like, okay, who the fuck are you to talk, right? You don't know the stuff I've been through. And after all, don't forget, Kurumi has killed over 10,000 people. She has threatened the other spirits, multiple people, and the planet multiple times. Could someone like that really be in a position to question Homura's morality? And it's these opposing viewpoints. This means that there is no way Kurumi will accept the fake world that Homura... There's no way that Kurumi will accept Homura's new reality. And she will do whatever it takes to bring the world stability back. The world that he believed in, while Homura will do whatever it takes to preserve the world where she is safe. While we've had opposing viewpoints on the show before, I think what sets this one apart is that notice how this time neither ideology is right or wrong. Whoever's right or wrong is how you, the viewer, perceive to be right or wrong. And I think what that does is not only does it get the viewer to think. I think more importantly, because of that emotional aspect of it, it gets you to feel. And I think that's what's striking about this, is that it doesn't get you only to think, it gets you to feel. However, how would the fight itself go, right? Well, I always like the idea of the fight having a mystery aspect to it. I like the idea of having a mystery to the fight. Why? For two reasons. One, Kurumi throughout a lot of Data Live is a mystery. You never know what she's thinking, what she's planning, what's in her head, what she's about to do. She's always someone 10 steps ahead. You never know what you're thinking. Number two, in my opinion, it's a fun callback to Rebellion's plot, which many of you will remember was a giant mystery plot. Yes, exactly, Eon. It's good and evil, but it's who you perceive to be good and evil. It's whoever's right and wrong is who you think is right or wrong. That's the idea. That's what I think it's really cool about it. I think a lot of Homura's matchups really lack that aspect of it. And that during the fight, there are going to be questions being asked, not only by Homura, but the viewer as well will also be questioning stuff. What do I mean by this? Well, who is Kurumi Tokisaki? How does she know about me? How does she know about the world? What is she planning? What is she after? What's the source of her power? And more importantly, who is Kurumi Tokisaki really? And trust me, guys, some of these answers, some of these questions, I mean in more ways than one, and some of these answers could surprise you. Like, some of these answers will really surprise you. Basically, what do I mean by this? Well, while I love the idea that while Homura may be more powerful, she's not going to be the one in power. However, don't just take my word for it. What if I showed you what I mean by this? Let me show you an example. So I have two things here for you guys, okay? Now, the first one, most of you have seen this before, right? The Yellow Anim's fight animation. It's basically someone animated a 5.5-minute fight of Homura versus Kurumi. It's really well done. I recommend looking it up on YouTube. That fight is great. I love it. However, that's not what I'm here to show you guys. It's the second one. Now, what is this? Now, most of you have heard the name Sun.mp2. If you've seen his Amori Room sprite animation, well, I commissioned him to make a little preview of a fight for Homura versus Kurumi. Yeah. This, by the way, was made specifically for the pitch and is not public yet. So you guys are going to be seeing it for the first time. This was made specifically for the pitch, and I wrote the script for it, which is linked right here. So I got a little something to show you. Now I'm going to show it to you right here. Let me adjust this volume. It's a bit loud, so. Yellow Anims is based. Yellow Anims is based. There we go.
Here we go. Ooh.
Thumbnail by me, by the way. By the way, was the volume okay? Tell me if the volume was okay.
Yeah. It was good.
You heard it? Okay.
That was so cool.
No, hey, that track was pretty awesome, right? What was that? Well, that was Date with the Devil by Brandon Yates, featuring Lady Ikigo and Takes. Now, guys, this track cost me $1,000 damn. Please listen to it. Yep. Now, I think most of you have heard the track by now. We're in the Yates server. We've heard this track by now. I think it's one of Brandon's best tracks, objectively speaking. However, in my opinion, for those who have heard the track before, I have a challenge for you guys. We all know about the awesome instrumentals, the guitar solo, the amazing vocals by Ikigo and Takes, the Thundershout duo, you can't go wrong. However, I have a challenge for you guys. Listen to this track again, but this time, pay attention to the lyrics, because that, to me, is what sells this track. In my opinion, these are the best lyrics Tyler, one of Brandon's lyricists, has ever written. Trust me. This track goes hard once you understand the lyrics. It's like Awakened Sacrifice. You need the lyrics to understand the lyrics to fully understand why this track is peak. Also, we have some track names there or whatever, right? $1,000. Yep, that was a $1,000 track. Let's talk about the debate. This is another reason I love this matchup a lot. All right, believe it. What if I told you guys, believe it or not? I'm dead ass serious with this, by the way. What if I told you this actually might be Homura's closest matchup? Yes, even with Devil Homura. A couple days ago, Lantern. A couple days ago. This may actually be the closest matchup both characters have. A debate where stats might not matter at all. And yes, we include Devil Homura when I talk about this. We are including Devil Homura. You're gonna see why. While Devil Homura rewriting her universe would give the clear edge and sheer power output, as crazy as it sounds, you could argue Kurumi has ways of making it a non-factor. First off, Kurumi has plenty of experience with others more powerful than her, even those on the tier of Devil Homura. Again, Mio, Data Live's god, who has powers very similar to Devil Homura, considered Kurumi a threat. Not because of her overwhelming power, but because of her intelligence and unpredictability. Not to mention the sheer versatility of Zafkiel's time manipulation, her clones. Hell, City Devouring Time and Kurumi's Shadow, again, being a completely separate, multi-layered pocket dimension, can serve as direct counters to Homura's reality warping. Don't forget, very important to note, Homura isn't Madoka. Homura never made herself part of the Law of Cycles like Madoka was.
Yeah.
Homura actually exists in this world. She could be interacted with, she could be perceived, she could be harmed. And here's the craziest part, actually. Let's give her the Law of Cycles buffs. What if I told you that's not an insta win con either? Don't forget, the Law of Cycles, it's not perfect. It's omnipresent. You could argue being all-powerful, but it's not all-knowing. Don't forget the stasis barrier that the incubators created were able to wave off its effects. We also have Magi Record, where even the concept of witches was not a thing there because of the barriers the Wings of Magia created. So, okay, barriers, pocket dimensions, those could counter Law of Cycles. What does Kurumi have? She has a barrier, she has a pocket dimension. Direct counters to the Law of Cycles. And this isn't even taking into account Rasiel. First of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. Yes, Rasiel's omniscience will work on Devil Homura. She will know about her powers. She'll know how they work. She'll know about, don't forget, the Dark Orb. Devil Homura has a soul gem. It's called a Dark Orb. It's a different name, but it's essentially the same thing. She has one. Kurumi will know about it. And fuck the omniscience. Even things like, for example, future entry to counter the reality warping, or even crazier, forcibly taking Homura's power, similar to how Homura herself took a portion of Madoka's. Don't forget, Homura, nor Madoka for that matter, have any resistances to mental manipulation of any kind. If you want to take it a step further, Homura blocked her own memories during the Wraith arc. And it's not just me. Believe it or not, a lot of people, especially this matchup's biggest shillers, actually buy Kurumi winning, even against Devil Homura. Hell, the DPM, Death Battle matchups, their Discord, their daily Death Battle, did Kurumi versus Homura. And it was Devil Homura counted, and Kurumi won. Kurumi won that by 1 vote. Now, don't count Homura out. There is a reason she is still the favorite to win, right? Especially with her vast amount of firearms, her ability to enhance her magic with weapons, her soul gem protections, and again, the sheer power of Devil Homura. While not quite on Madoka's tier, she is still a universe buster. She's still going to be uni. While universal data live is a thing, people buy Kurumi getting the scaling. I personally don't. By 1 vote. Kurumi won by 1 vote. Yep, I was there for that.
Me too.
Yep, exactly. The way I like to word it is, actually, some people in this comment section by Kurumi winning. X, I see you by Kurumi winning. The way most of you have heard the term stats versus hacks before, right? And in my opinion, this might actually be the most textbook definition of stats versus hacks. And what's even crazier,
Yeah.
this is one of those rare cases where you could actually argue the hacks character actually winning. I think, yeah, comedian, you said it the best. This has one of the biggest potentials to be one of the biggest underdog fights ever. The hyperversal stuff, we'll talk about that after. I don't buy hyper. I'm doing a blog on Madoka. I know where it's from. I don't buy it. All I'm gonna say is the cast should be a fun one. The cast should be a very fun one. Now let's talk about an aspect more personal to me. is the legacy and the fan appeal. With both series being prominent around the same time, both started in 2011, mid 2010s, both Homura and Kurumi have been compared to each other a lot throughout the years, both in the West, and basically Joker Jonah was fair, basically, yeah. Both in the West and the East. First of all, this matchup in particular has been requested for a really long time. It's a really big request. However, what I want to point out is not only that both characters have been compared to each other, not only in the versus community, but the casual anime community as well. Just them as characters have been compared to each other a lot. However, I also want to call out yeah, I know, by the way. Yeah, what's up, D-Tag? What's up, bro? Yeah, I know you see your artwork there. I know you do. Is that one thing I want to call out is this matchup's fan base. Because y'all, the Harumi gang, y'all are dedicated as fuck, okay? I had to dedicate a slide to y'all. Don't worry, all your art is great. Everything's linked and credited, so they will be seeing it. Don't worry. There's a lot more that I wanted to put on here, trust me. However, what if I told you guys the crazy part? Out of all 6 links that you see here, what if I told you guys only 3 are from people in the West or in the versus community? The other 3, the Pixiv ones, are just Asian anime fans that said, yeah, these characters are a thing. And what I have here in the bottom right is an AMV. Typical stuff, right? Why is this important? What if I told you this AMV doesn't go to YouTube? It takes you to Bilibili, which is Chinese YouTube. This rivalry reached fucking China. You want to take it even crazier? Yellow Anim's animation is also on Bilibili. China got their hands on a Homura Kurumi fight. Think about that for a second.
Whoa.
And it's because of these comparisons, as well as both series being more profitable, relevant now, both having major projects coming out, means now is a great time to do it, in my opinion. Obviously, Data Live this year had season 5 of the anime, and the Steam release of Ren Dystopia. Even outside the versus community. This is a lot of... I know someone in both Madoka Magica and Data Live Discords who unironically ships both characters. That's how you know it extends beyond the versus community. We also have Madoka Magica, who has stuff coming in 2024, seriously, 2025. 2025 now, Cope, with movie 4 and also the new game. So as you can see, both have new anime projects and new games, and it basically should have been the same year, but around the same time. So they're both relevant now. So I'm sorry, I've been talking a lot. I know this is like a lot for you guys to take in. So to end it off, I'm gonna simplify this matchup for you guys and how you guys could view this matchup. How am I gonna do this? Well, and Monica, you're here. You're gonna like this one. I think you should be hearing this one as well. We're gonna simplify this matchup for you guys, okay? We're gonna simplify this matchup for you guys. How do we do this? We're gonna compare it to another popular matchup. That one I know a lot of you guys and the team likes a lot. That being Monica versus Sailor Moon.
Oh, wait a minute. I
Oh,
remember
yes.
hearing this in the blog. I remember
Yes.
hearing this in the cast, right?
Yeah. This is
All
gonna
right.
get cast, yes. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, don't worry. This isn't one of those, oh, this should happen first, this matchup's trash, whatever. Not like that. That's not what I mean. What do I mean? Is that think of Homura versus Kurumi as the antithesis of Madoka Sailor Moon. What do I mean by that? Well, Madoka Moon, at its core, let's be honest, is all about celebrating the magical girl genre and the message of hope that both characters bring. Especially instead of talking about Madoka Magica with Madoka, who is literally the embodiment of hope. In a way, she represents the brighter side of the genre. Homura is the opposite. She acts as the main catalyst for subverting all of our expectations we had when looking at a magical girl. Her dark backstory and complex ideologies often make us question not only what the fuck is going on, but it also makes us question if it's really worth pursuing personal desire over doing what's right. That perhaps the answer isn't so black and white after all. And an episode featuring Homura, in my opinion, that should be the main aspect of it. Not above the time powers, above the depression, above all of that, the witch, all that. It's that subversion. It's what she represents. That should be what it's all about. And in my opinion, Kurumi does that the best. Why? Because not only does Kurumi represent the opposite ideology, but don't forget, her series is also a subversion. And that's what's striking here. While Homura's story is about how a desire to save someone can lead you down to that darker path, that could descend you down to being an enemy, Kurumi's story is about redemption. And no matter how heavy the weight of your burdens, no matter how many sins you commit, it's never too late to redeem yourself, even if you can't do it alone. Basically, just like how Homura's story is the descent, Kurumi's story is the ascent. Two sides of the same coin. Homura and Kurumi as characters are two sides of the same coin. Much like how Madoka versus Sailor Moon and Homura versus Kurumi are two sides of the same coin. To put it this way, if Madoka versus Sailor Moon is the celebration, then Homura versus Kurumi is the deconstruction.
Yeah,
And that was my presentation. There it is. Thanks y'all for listening. Kurumi gang. We won the Sprite contest, the Sprite tournament today. Shouts out to y'all. We won that shit. The sweep, we won it. Of course, the Kurumi gang fucking shouts out to y'all. We fucking won that shit. We beat fucking Luigi Pac-Man. We beat Skeletor Zed. We beat fucking EXT Red. We beat fucking Makoto Neku. We beat all that shit.
I'm just gonna turn his volume down for a minute. That we got an hour and 25 minutes was put for the pitch. I'm putting his audio back up for Q&A.
Awesome job.
Yeah. All right. So Q&A time. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, whatever, leave them down. I'm here to answer everything. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is answer some Reddit and YouTube questions, if you guys don't mind. Yeah.
I got a
Thank
question.
Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we have a question. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can we go home now?
No. Everyone else could, but you. Everyone
here's
else
my
can.
question.
And no. Everyone else can, but Total.
Here's my question. Why did you
Well,
spend over
I have a
$1,000 on the track?
Sorry.
I still have a question.
Hang on. Emerald, go first. Hang on, that Monica. Emerald, go first.
Why did you feel the need to spend $1,000 on a single track?
Okay, so originally, I never told you the story how the track got commissioned, huh? So, do you remember that back in the days when Brandon did like that doc thing of like only certain matchups got in?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he did one, right? And this time it was only 5 instead of like 50. Mine was the first one he accepted, right?
Okay.
That was pretty cool actually. So it was okay. So it wasn't $1,000 all in one rip. It was over time because, believe it or not, Date with the Devil's main inspiration was Will of the Drill, and I'm like, I want that, but for my matchup, I want to propel that way. So that's how it went. It started off with 5.5 minutes, vocals, duet vocals, and guys, there's a lot. Trust me, there was a lot of passion put into not only the track but the art too. This was a combination of 4 artists: B, Ethan, Deck, and I had a hand. 3 artists and me. I had a hand in this too. There are a fuck ton of references in here that people to this day have not noticed yet. Trust me, this was a lot of effort put into this. And that's what I really want to exude, is that passion. And that's why I wanted to make this a cast, is I want to show people the passion. I don't want to just say it and have people take my word for it. I want to show it. So, Kurumi gang, I need you to step up for this.
Okay,
anyway,
I have a question now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, I understand your reason, but for me and Monkey can agree on, but I really do feel like the emotional ending fits these two because
It's like the
they
best way
both
you
suffer
can really do
a
this
lot.
matchup. Like, really.
And I know it might sound weird, but I feel like it fits that way because they're both misunderstood.
Yes. Well, I think I've talked about how I see the fight ending, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say the way I left we talked about the mystery aspect to it. Pay attention to the questions again. Pay attention to these again. Trust me. It's basically the answers to these questions, Monica. That's all I'm gonna say. Try to come up with your own answers if you could. I left it like I have some ideas in my head that people are like, "Holy shit!" I'll be observed though. So, what was my introduction to the matchup? Okay, so I guess I'll start. What if I told you the legacy aspect is one of the biggest drawbacks for me? Because I'm someone who's been part of both fandoms for years, even before I joined the Versus community. Like, actually, hardcore Versus community. I was already a fan. Like, I had seen the comparisons firsthand. I kind of always knew the matchup was a thing. What really got me into it was when I started reading Data Live's light novels in like 2020, 2021. That's when it became my number 1. It was always in my top 10. No, Eon, trust me. Some ideas I fucking have, trust me, people are not expecting it. Anyway, so yeah, that's what got me into the matchup. I always was into it because I've been a part of both fandoms even before I was in the Versus community. I've seen these comparisons firsthand. That's why I think this is to me is the one. Is because it's like to me this is like the Mario Sonic. This is the Dio Alucard. It's one of those ones to me where it feels weird not putting them against each other, especially on the Data Live aspect. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is Data Live's biggest matchup, like 100%.
Oh,
You
definitely.
can maybe argue
Yeah.
for Madoka Magica's. There's Sakuya. There's all that. But like, in my opinion, this is the legacy one. We talked about the ideologies, what they represent. There's a reason why. There are other matchups in their series. Okay, do you mean like, are there just like Madoka Magica and Data Live matchups, Leonard? Is that what you mean? Well, I wait for you to type. I'll answer this one. So the first YouTube one is, do you think now is the best time for the fight or wait for the movie? I think for Homura Kurumi specifically, I think it's actually weird. I think for Homura Kurumi specifically, you could do it now because unlike most people, I don't think movie 4 is going to change much for Homura. People think, oh, she's going to get buffed. I'll be honest, I don't think so. I actually think she's going to get nerfed. If you've seen the trailers, it's heavily applied. She can't even handle the power she has now. So like, you could argue that's the reason the Claridolls exist in the first place. So yeah. Is the Data Live light novel over? Is light novel over? Yes. The main series Data Live light novels are over. They ended in 2020. 22 light novels, 11 side story compilations. However, there is a sequel series that features Kurumi as the main character, which is pretty cool, and she's a detective.
If I'm
Also,
not mistaken, the anime is
Yeah.
over.
sorry.
The anime is like also over.
No, okay, so the anime, like I said earlier, did 19 out of the 22 light novels. So, no. The anime still has more stuff to adapt.
Okay. Maybe another movie, perhaps?
That's what I'm thinking as well, maybe some movies. Okay, so in their series, okay. So, Lantern, you know how I feel about Monica Watanohara is the one for me. X, yeah, I'm a Watanohara fan. That's the one for Monica for me. In my opinion, those are really the only two. I think of like, in terms of the quintet specifically, we only need Monica and Homura. Like, we don't need Mommy, we don't need Sayaka, we don't need Kyoko. I think if they ever do them both, I think a cool idea is maybe focusing on Maji record. Maybe like an Iraha or a Yachiyo matchup could be cool. In terms of Data Live, is Homura, Kurumi's alts are just Homura's leftovers. There's fucking nobody. Yeah, all of Kurumi's alts are just Homura's leftovers, basically. That's basically what the fuck it is. In terms of the other characters, the only character I could really see working, or at least I would be interested in seeing, is Toka. I know there's the obvious Toka Ikaros. I am one of the few that likes Toka Saber. I know a lot of people don't. I kind of like Toka Saber. You're also like the guy who thinks Toka Neptune is fucking mid as all hell. So
Wait,
Yeah.
what matchup?
Token.
Toka Neptune. I think it's hella fucking mid. I know Shido has some.
That matchup fucking sucks.
Yeah, Toka Neptune is not good. In terms of like Homura matchups, in my opinion, this is gonna be a really hot take. I don't like a lot of Homura's other matchups. I'll be real with you, Chief.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't like a lot of
Oh.
Homura's alts. Like the only alt I actually like for her is the one everyone hates, which is fucking Sakuya. And that's because similar to Kurumi, it's
Actually,
that
I
legacy
actually kind of
aspect.
like that one too. Why do people hate
I
that
know.
one even?
Because it lacks connections, which I think is fair.
I mean, fine, but
Toho 18.
I mean, there is still a legacy.
That it's like and it's the animation. Total can vouch. Total does not like Sakuya as a character, and he will tell you Homura Sakuya as an animation would go hard as fuck.
I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But
But that's why I
know.
think for Homura Sakuya, I think someone said on the team once said it a long time ago, DBX. Homura Sakuya's DBX or Riot Rumble, something like that is much better for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
And the only one I think is maybe okay is Asriel. I've seen that one in the DBM a lot. I'll be honest, I think Homura Asriel is weird because I think it depends on you taking Undertale in a very specific way.
Flowey. That's like
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think it depends on how you're doing Undertale. That's the problem because like you could perceive Undertale being done that way, but then DB will do it the completely opposite way, and the match just doesn't work anymore. That's why Homura Asriel is weird to me. I still like it though.
Undertale in general is like weird to scale.
Yeah, that's why Homura it's weird that one. I'll be honest. I know Eon, you're gonna hate me for saying this. I'll be honest, Chief. I don't like Homura Ino. I honestly don't like it. I think it's mid. I honestly think it's
Yeah.
mid. It's mid. I've said This is. I'm not gonna come and listen. I'm not gonna come down on you for liking it. You can like what you like. It's your choice. I'm not. If you like it, listen. Mega's pitching it to the team, so someone's gonna be
Wait,
pitching it to
what's
them.
the-
So
Wait, what's the Homura matchup?
from Guilty Gear.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind it.
The way I always said it
No,
was
I
the way I say it in I used to say it in the doc was Homura Ino is for the people who don't know who Kurumi is. That's what I always used to say. But I think it's a little mean. Or I used to say it's the Homura Kurumi we have at home. But I think the problem with Homura Ino is that it's just, how do I explain it? It
It's a
focuses.
slump.
No, well, yes, it is. It is.
Where the fuck?
Homer
did
Burn
this
is Homer Burn is
fucking
ass.
people-
I'll be real with you, Chief.
Burnus?
Burn Castle. You know what's
Oh.
funny actually? Yeah, believe it or not, Homer Kurumi actually has some haters. And for some reason, it's always the Homura Burn fans, and I have no clue why.
It's
It's
because like people think that Komori wins or something. I don't know.
Like, I don't fucking know, bro. It's
I-
always the Homura fucking Burn fans. They're like, yeah, it sucks. I'm like, these are the Eno fans.
Bro,
It's like, okay, I want Guilty Gear back. I think it's fair. I'll be honest with you, Chief. I think Guilty Gear should come back. I don't think it should be Eno, to be honest.
I will say that I do agree with Eno not being able to bring Guilty Gear back. I feel like if they are going to bring
Dimitri
anyone from
Slayer, in my
Guilty Gear
opinion.
it's literally just either like the most logical choices are Slayer, Kai, or the secret third thing.
Did you seriously say
Copy
Kai of all
chaos.
things?
Yes, Kai, because I actually like him. He's actually important.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
like,
Hold up,
that's-
chat. Let me
that's why I
just
think
turn down his volume.
and listen, Eon, you can still like Homer Eno. I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to shit on you for liking the matchup. I'm just thinking what I think of it. That's my experience with the matchup. That's all. And I'll be honest, that matchup was the only thing because of Guilty Gear Strive. I'm just gonna fucking say it. That matchup is the only thing because of Guilty Gear Strive. Like, I'll be real with you, Chief. Without Guilty Gear Strive, that matchup is not a thing, like, at all. Yeah. Oh, Bike and Dunban. You're actually right. Even Biken is a good, like, return to Guilty Gear, actually.
Yeah, considering the fact that Biken's just basically like one of the more popular Guilty
Yeah,
Gear
like, I
characters.
just don't think it should be Eno. It should
It
be...
shows up in every crossover too, really.
Or
It doesn't even matter if
total,
you're a
total's
Guilty
here,
Gear
total,
fan, you
total.
know Biken.
Hear me out, Potemkin Tager. Let's fucking go, baby.
No.
The big
You're
dick energy play,
lying.
Potemkin Tager. Let's fucking
No.
go.
No.
Homura versus Supreme Strange is a matchup. I don't.
It's
care
no.
for.
Oh, okay, my bad then, Eon. I'm sorry, bro. Mega, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm not trying to shit on you. You're chill. You're a nice
Okay,
guy.
cool.
I'm sure you are. I'm not trying to shit on you as a person. I honestly hope your pitch goes
Yeah.
well. I'm rooting for your pitch. I hope it goes well, and all that good stuff. That's all I'm
Okay,
gonna
may
say
I ask a
about that.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Blames me.
If there
It's
was
on
a
my channel.
chance, I'm not saying, but if we ever get a crossover between these two series, that would be, I would pop off.
If there was a Data Live Madoka Magica like crossover and it's Shido rizzing the Magical Girls, I'm actually going to, like, that's actually peak
I'm
fiction.
going to. I will implode in a conceptual level.
It's
Then
Shido
come
rizzing the
back.
Magical Girls.
Ping
You
the
do not tell me
Discord,
that would not go hard
everybody.
as shit.
It's starting.
Yeah, that would be crazy. He definitely would try help Homer.
This guy really just said Homura next verse. This guy has no clue, does he?
You know what? Speaking of which, like, if you go to like the
Must be a
basement,
Burn Castle fan.
like made a comment where how do we tell Homura Bros where Komori just wins this one?
Yeah. the fucking paragraph, dude. I swear to God, bro. That guy writes like 8,000 paragraphs. I'm like, dude, I'm not answering all of that. And the worst part is, I'm like, half the shit he's saying is either just unsupported or just assumptions or just not true. Like, what things he mentions is like,
At
it's like,
best,
yeah,
it's just a fucking lie.
yeah, it's just fucking bad, bro. All I'm gonna say is the cast, if they do their research on it, is gonna be a fun one.
You literally did the
okay.
research for them.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Lantern? I cut out a lot of the research aspects of it, of the PowerPoint. That's what I cut out, is the research.
Oh.
Oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck?
We have technical issues for a moment. Hold up. I'm gonna.
Base Homer versus Kurumi. I think that's what
There
he's
we
trying
go.
to say. In my opinion, Base Homer gets fucking slaughtered. Even my honest opinion, that's the comic consensus. Base Homer gets fucking slaughtered. That's my opinion. She gets slaughtered. Name one advantage she has. Name one.
Gun.
Like, none.
A good
AP?
series.
More weaponry?
Gun.
Oh, she has more guns. That's fucking crazy, bro.
Like that's
Anyways,
let's
what
worry
do you
better.
keep respawning millions of clones?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you're right.
okay, it's not literally millions. Kurumi can summon over 1,000 at a time. Just think about that. And don't forget, remember and by the way, don't forget with Kurumi's clones, by the way. Remember those fucking space quakes that we talked about? Those giant fuck-off magic nukes?
Yeah, they caused it.
She could create those.
Oh,
Whatever the
Yeah.
fuck she wants.
oh my fucking
That's
god! What
important.
does someone do?
Yeah.
Also, like,
Now, who's a better character? I do agree. I personally like Homura more than Kurumi. However, I do love both characters.
I like both the same.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
she might have
Mine
better
more.
regen, but that doesn't really fucking matter.
Okay, technically maybe. Here's the thing though, Lander, passive life draining through City of Devouring Time, and her shadow.
But that even
Also-
fucking matter though.
Kind of, yeah. Because don't forget, it's life draining. It's power taken from Homura going to Kurumi.
But if her
Right.
soul is a part of the gem, would that
Guys?
even?
Well, don't
How
forget.
about
Don't forget the
this?
fourth bullet as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Guys, once this happens, I'm gonna have to not cry.
Well, let me say
See
this:
this
y'all
battle.
better show up for this fucking cast, bro. I made the cast for the fan base.
will,
Y'all
I
better
will.
show the fuck up for this cast, bro.
If
I'm
I'm
putting a lot of
working,
faith
I'm
in
gonna-
y'all.
I'll be
If
there.
I'm working, you're gonna have a very silent person
I'll
watching it.
try to be.
I'm
I'll
gonna be
try to be there, but I can't
I'm
guarantee things.
I'll be there. Don't worry.
What's I gonna say again? Sorry. Oh, you talking about the regen lantern. But don't forget also the fourth bullet. We talked about reversion. It can work on objects
Whoa.
too. So remember how Kurumi took a Clifoth crystal and made it into a Sephra crystal? Oh, hey, Homer, that's a nice soul gem you have there. Yeah, let me mess with that real quick. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Homer, that's some nice powers you have there. Let me take that real quick.
But how the
And don't
fuck do you
forget-
revert?
Nice
How the
soul
fuck
gem
do
I
you-
got there. Can I have that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't
nice-
forget,
hey, nice
no,
gun
we
you have there.
talked
Can I
about-
take it?
and we talked about the lack of mental resistances. However, keep in mind, because there's no law of cycles, Devil Homura is not an acausal being. She physically exists in that universe. What does that mean? Hey, Kurumi's whole motivation for killing Mio. Let me use the 12th bullet to go back in time and kill you in the past. That's
That's right.
technically
She's going back in time into the
that's
very beginning.
literally
Oh
still
my
an
God,
option.
no.
Don't forget that. That is still an option. She's not an acausal being. And even if you want to give her law of cycles,
Wait.
you have a true form Pennywise situation. You can't use
Oh
it and
my
fight at the
God.
same time.
That's what I'm saying to the debaters who think
Yeah,
they
It's
use
like,
it.
even if you want to give her law, don't forget, Monica is okay with it because she's literally the embodiment of it. Homura is not. She's only borrowing it. Even if you want to argue she just retreats inside it, she can't fight Kurumi. As Kyubey herself said, she can't impact the world. Sorry, as Kyubey said,
I will
she
say
can't
this.
impact the world. Go ahead.
I will say this.
Huh?
I feel
I was
like
gonna say, how the hell do you revert a soul gem? Like, what would that result in?
Well,
Just
okay,
like
you're
you're
talking about
left
the
person?
demon orb, probably just like back to a soul gem or some shit like that.
No, I'm talking about. You were saying like you could revert the soul gem itself. It's like, what would that revert to then?
Make it weak as shit. I don't fucking know. You know what I'm trying to say, Lantern? It's reversion.
that
You
just-
can undo stuff
I
basically.
feel like
Would that just turn Homer back to a human?
But honestly, probably. I've
Oh,
seen
no.
people. No, Lantern, I've seen people say that. Like, you can just turn Homer back into a human. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
That was easy.
okay.
Galaxy level base forms? No,
Guys.
okay. Sorry, go ahead. Before I talk about
I
that.
thought about this. If this might sound, imagine if Kimi goes back. Imagine it's when Homer trying to separate Madoka.
All I'm saying, a
Kimi goes
plot
back
of
in
Homer
time.
going back in time, of Kurumi going back in time and killing Homer before she makes her wish, kind of goes hard. But
Killer
Yeah.
dude.
Okay,
um,
so
That kind of
actually, Galaxy level base worms is
I'm
kind of
honestly
a.
thinking that's a good
no, okay,
decision.
I'm gonna address this right fucking now because I'm seeing this shit in one of the YouTube feeds. Okay, what fuck do you mean base Homura is high hyper? Magic girls can kill
What?
witches and
What
witches
do you
create.
mean?
No, okay. Okay, I'm gonna like address right now where this quote Galaxy stuff comes from. Okay, all the hyper stuff. It comes from the witches labyrinths. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guys, you need to understand this right now. Witches' labyrinths are not literal universes. Their
Yeah.
karmic destiny is not that high. Like, Gertrude's labyrinth is not an actual fucking solar system. Patricia's labyrinth is not an actual universe. It's just a little isolated pocket dimension that basically takes up the size of their building. We know this because they could be interacted with. Tart, I showed it to Lantern. Tart literally breaks the outside of one. And second, we've seen in Maji record that multiple labyrinths could interact with each other. Witches could enter other fucking labyrinths.
I wouldn't
And
even say
hell,
she's planet level either.
she's not. Okay, Homura base
No,
is gonna
she
be
is.
like Homura base is gonna be like island
See?
tops. If you want Kurumi,
I'd say
listen,
maybe
I don't buy the
town.
uni stuff for Kurumi. Okay. So Kurumi could get like city. Everyone knows because City Devouring Time. There's the mountain stuff with Tenka craters. There's island from the Yamai sisters creating a
So it's domain
storm.
extraction. Yes, it's
I
a
know there's
domain
like,
extraction.
if I'm not mistaken, there's like a planet feat, like stopping the planet from moving from.
It's
God.
weird. I know. I don't remember if the anime adapted this, but you could scalar theoretically if you wanted to Mukro meteors, which have been calced the country. You could
Okay.
maybe scale to that as well if you want. But
So, Space,
Actually,
just to
kinda
answer,
figured-
just to point it out, yes, Witch's Labyrinths are
Realize-
like domain expansions essentially.
yes, but like not as good, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Not as
pretty
good.
much.
They're not actual.
Also-
They're not actually creating universes. And Lantern could vouch for this because we read the light novel. The furthest we've seen a labyrinth with a collective race of superior beings, and that was the size of a solar system. Again, a superior race, and it was the entire species, and it was one collective labyrinth.
I feel like
Also, we brought up island level. Even I wouldn't give her that because it was pretty clear that it was just Madoka getting Madoka like fucking power up bullshit.
Oh no, not that. It was Maji record. Mommy.
Oh, the mommy thing.
The mommy thing in
I
Maji
don't even
record.
think it got, I don't think it got island.
I've seen it count to island. I know. Okay, the one in Rebellion gets town. I know that, but
Yeah, no, I think the one you're talking about, I don't think that's island.
I've seen it count to island though. That's what strange fucking
I can
sent
ask.
me.
You know, I could ask him to I could ask
Wait,
someone to
what's
recalc
the-
it.
wait,
but I
what's
don't
the
think
It's
island?
mommy's ultimate in Maji record. That's why.
I
Yeah,
feel
Is it
no,
like
like a bullet?
no,
Is
I
it
know
like
which one
the
you're.
bullet thing?
No, it's the snow. I know what he's talking about. It's the snowstorm.
What?
It's a snowstorm one, and even I like both me and you looked at it. And it's like I don't think that's island.
Yeah. To be
I
fair, the calc itself was from Versus Wiki, so like I only
remember
said it because I don't do
someone-
calc. So like
I remember someone mentioning like one magic jumping from like one galaxy to another. Is that like a fake feat or something?
oh,
That
it's
is-
again, it's not literal. It's not supposed to be literal. The labyrinth's not
Okay.
actually that big.
Okay,
Um,
I was just thinking like it wasn't a feat.
Also,
Alright.
keep in mind some of the characters in Maji record are from gag series. Keep that in mind as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Like, I'll just say right now, Homura Tamara is not usable. Lantern could vouch. Homura Tamara is not usable.
ha.
Lantern could also vouch. Hyper is kind of bullshit from Madoka Magica. It's not really supported by anything other than one quote-unquote statement from a light novel that has barely any connection to the series at all, taken completely out of context. That same book literally calls the universe as third dimension, but...
Yeah.
If I-
I know which one you're talking about. It's just the way it's worded feels a bit
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
It's infinite timelines. It's just branching timelines.
I
That's
wouldn't
all
even
it
say
is.
it's I wouldn't say it's infinite timelines. That's the thing. They specifically do use a specific word for that, and
Yes, but don't forget, Lantern, where later in that book, the same book literally calls the universe as third dimensional. So it can't be
okay,
anything
yeah,
more than that.
I will say that, but it's like there is a difference between the way they worded infinite time. They worded the thing there, and
Yeah,
the way
it
they
is.
worded
I
infinite
read
timelines
the
in a bit
wording
later
itself
on.
as weird because people look at the word layers and they always assume it's the highest end interpretation of it. That's what I think is the problem is.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna just say I'll put a pin on that one because I'm not gonna.
well, we're gonna have to
confirm
talk about it
it.
for the blog, Lantern.
Yeah,
we're
no,
gonna have
that's
to-
why I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it
like
a bit,
that's because
it's
because
up in the
Lantern, me,
air.
you, and Keith had like 3 completely different verdicts on that, so we're gonna have to come to some kind of fucking conclusion.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
Huh.
what
My goat's
ending
getting washed. I wouldn't say
will
she's
go
getting
home?
washed. I am saying that
Shush.
it's up in the air on whether or
Well,
not.
like I
she
said,
wins.
Homura is still the favorite for a reason. She is still a universe buster, even without the Madoka scaling. She is still a universe buster. That
Yes.
keep in mind, you're getting that gap in power, and that gap in power means you could resist a lot of Kurumi shit as well. Just keep that in mind.
True.
I'll say it right now. Actually, I think Homura will win the episode. If you guys know what I mean when I say that. I think
Yeah.
for actual like what they would research, I think they would buy Kurumi. They would buy Homura winning is what I think personally. But anyways, I think that's
I'm thinking
pretty
about
much it.
Let's see. I'm
Did
trying to
we
look up
wait.
that the snowstorm count that we were talking
You
about
just,
earlier.
you just
Did we
they
hit
found
2
out-
hours yet?
I think
they
I
found
think we're a little bit over 2 hours now.
tweets when with Devra. That'd be good.
Let's see.
Anyways, I think are we actually trying to stall for 2 hours? Is that what we're fucking trying to do?
No, we're trying to stall from over, but also you
guess
didn't even
so.
get over. You didn't even go look at the other like.
Okay,
you
what
say
are you
you're-
guys supposed to talk about for 11 minutes?
Also, Speeds, didn't you say you're gonna look at the fucking questions from the other like places?
I am. That's what I'm doing.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry. It's fucking Homura Negs verse, and it's just fucking high hyper because Witch's Labyrinth. I'm like, bruh.
No.
It is
No.
difficulty.
How fair would you say that? Okay, how fair would you say the matchup is? Like I said, it's in my opinion, it's the closest one for both. It's the most debatable one for both. Where again,
Like Homura winning.
the stats might not even matter at all. Basically things like that.
I just buy Homura winning.
A lot more people are, honestly. And keep in mind, by the way, this is assuming you don't buy Kurumi just getting uni. I've seen people like buy her getting uni. I don't.
Yeah.
But people
do.
buy her getting uni. If you buy her getting uni, she's just washing her. But because let's be honest here. Let's be here. Under equal stats, who do you buy winning?
Homura.
Yeah.
Komari.
Like under equal stats, Kurumi's just fucking sweeping. Like
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah, I re-looked at it.
Homura is probably winning in base.
Yeah. Strange
We
Supreme.
gotta talk about.
Oh my god.
After looking at all the evidence, great PowerPoint. Anyway, a Strange Supreme because I want Marvel What If.
Okay, so Strange Supreme fucking stomps Homura.
Yes. You don't need to tell me twice on that one, brother. You
But
do
wait,
not need
like,
to tell me
he
twice
hasn't-
on that.
he hasn't, like, thoughts, like, he scales to someone who's like a fifth dimensional being, the Watcher.
No, it's
What-
funny with Homer Eno. It's like, hey, Homer scales to Madoka. She's 5D. It should be equal, right? Even you buy that, that's crazy. Here's 11D Guilty Gear that Eno herself is directly responsible for. So, like,
funniest
bruh.
part. It's basically
but there's outer versal.
I just want to remind people.
Strange Supreme Homer is just what if we make double Homer fight Madoka?
yeah.
And
Yeah, it's gonna the exact same result. Homer's gonna get fucking washed. It's the exact same result.
There's
yeah, I
nothing
found-
stopping Strange from just absorbing Devil Homer's powers.
Oh, just like Kurumi, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Also,
Exactly.
yeah, please, I found
Bro
the
had to deal
calc.
with a victorious Ultron who had the
I
same
found the-
kind of
I
victorious
found the
kill
calc.
monster.
I
I mean,
did find
I even made like a chart.
Okay, to answer your question, Eon and X. Okay, so the feed itself, it depends how high or low you buy it. I've seen it anywhere from like 6 to 11. It depends what you buy. Either way, Homer is dead. That's the fucking point. And don't even get me started on characters like Burn. Go ahead, Lantern. What does it get?
So you were saying the island calc, right? That you were bringing up.
Yeah.
So from what he calced it at 53.6 megatons, which is just city level.
It was just city. Where the fuck did I get island from? Oh well.
Wait, what?
Damn. Okay, so
Okay,
not
so
even island. Damn.
That's
No, Toto, you're never going home. Go back to work. You work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go back to the
Okay.
give me a
From what he
pizza, bitch.
said, they calced how much energy is dispersing. They took the cold took essentially.
Yeah.
Instead of how much it would need for her to actually create an actual snowstorm that big.
Yeah. Does Mike scale that? Okay, so I think Total could vouch. Any Guilty Gear scaler could vouch. I think any character in Strive gets the scaling, right? That's what I heard. I heard it's like if you're in Strive, you get the scaling. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
No.
Bridget, let's go.
All right, Emerald, wake up.
Burn loses. Umineko is so fucking wanked, I swear. I mean, not really, bro. Umineko has some busted ass shit. Like, it's actually insane.
Oh.
you know what does
Oh,
get
no.
one?
Oh, is this one of those like Access
What is
passion just talking about this
Thematic?
matchup type things? The Total.
Oh.
Umineko feats. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Give me a
A
second.
lot of things.
Hold up, I'm pulling up the respect thread. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Now imagine, by the way, a lot of these same characters get requested against Kurumi a lot. Those are Kurumi's ults, by the way. Just keep in mind.
Oh yeah, no wait. You said
Why?
respect, Fred, right?
Okay.
Right, Scar? Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's no respect in Umineko.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. Let me read. Battler speed blitzes Burn Castle. His punch reminded Burn of the concept of pain, and his kick made her vomit. This also counts as a speed feat.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Imagine being that guy who makes you remember what pain is. Like, oh no.
Oh
What
no.
was I gonna say? Total could vouch on Homura Sakuya's not existent debatability anymore. That used to be debatable. That used to be close.
Yes.
Enter Toho 18. Hey, you see this bitch named Reimu? Okay, so she
Oh my
fought
God.
Yukari, right? Okay, well, it turns out Saika can make her spell cards as powerful as Reimu. Oh, cool. How powerful is
Yeah.
Yukari? 70. Oh, well, fuck me, bro.
No,
My
no, no.
bad.
Oh my god.
No.
Battler gets
Again, no.
worse.
Speeds, it gets worse. No, it's when researching Remilia. It's that no, she doesn't even need
Got
the
it.
other spell cards from 18. She just has it on hand.
Yeah.
Let's
She can
get to
yeah,
it
because she
on.
can amp them now. Yeah, I can make my spell
Oh.
cards as powerful as you. I fought Yukari. How powerful is Yukari? Oh, I literally made the barrier between Genzokyo and a real actual world. Like, bruh.
Okay, so let's see. Based off the thread, Battler can just kick you out of the story. Are you gonna
Yeah.
get that promotion? You're out of the story. Is Homura Kurumi gonna be part of the cast? You're out of the story. No more Homura Kurumi. Fuck off.
Yep.
No.
You can kick
It's
anything out of the
it's just
story.
a chowder. No, you're not part of this episode.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, so according to Liam's calculations, no, you're out.
By the way, anything, any questions, anything else?
I got.
We
nothing.
got 5
What?
minutes to rant.
We got 5 minutes. We got to fucking stall. We got to stall for
Um,
5 minutes.
Battler cannot be interfered by anyone.
Speed.
What-
speed.
I do
Please.
know because I did ask some people.
More debate talking because
If-
why not?
Please,
I did
English or
ask people
Spanish?
if they're
I
down
wish
with more
these
of these
two
kind of pitches.
Would be friends.
Because like you would say this was fun, Speeds, right?
I'm
I like
telling you right now, Total, if we're doing one together, we already know exactly what the
Yeah.
fuck the matchup is. Like,
Oh,
there's
Luke-
no question what the matchup is. It's
Luke
like,
and
we
Jago.
already know what it is.
Luke and
Jago. It's not even close.
It's
Like,
just
Homura,
um,
Homura loses to Kurumi, and that's cool.
I like that.
Yay.
Like I know you and me want to do Luke and Jago. I know it's me, Lantern, Insanity, and Tank want to do King Tizok.
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be me in the chat just spamming Booyaka Booyaka. That's it, bro. Booyaka Booyaka. It's just me in the chat just spamming that, bro. That's all it is.
It can work as a great 3D thing. Like they have a full-on announcer and everything.
I
it
swear
could
to
be a
God.
Balrog combo.
King
Oh,
Tizok,
it's
Leonard
weird.
Vouch, King Tizok, and it references Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero tactics. I'm telling you right now, that is the greatest animation y'all will ever see.
I just
we
That's
see,
the one.
we see fucking
It
Tizok
was.
just cheating. I laugh, I cheat, I steal.
no. I'm just no, Speeds. I'm just imagining what I showed you, which was the idea of like the quote unquote how the fight should end, which is
okay,
it's
okay,
just the
fine.
endings clip from Nacho Libre.
Oh my god.
Okay, you know what? Fine,
No.
King Tizok, but I want the chair trick replicated.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Fucking, we're,
I
we're dragging a bit.
I know.
Speed.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
hang on, Total. What's up, Max?
English or Spanish?
Bro, what kind of a dumbass question is that? What kind of a dumbass question is that?
Just say,
Like,
just say English or
bro,
Spanish.
you're acting like it's a question.
Say it, English or Spanish. Just say which one. Say
Espanol, baby.
Okay, first one to talk is gay.
Espanol, baby.
I already talked first, therefore I am the game.
He's ultra gay.
I know. Cause speaking of Umineko, I know. I want to dabble in Umineko with X doing a
Remember when the researchers
Beatrice
tried that
pitch.
tool and they said, fuck that?
yeah.
they said, fuck that? Anyways, I have a challenge for y'all, actually. A little fun discussion point. We talked about Date with the Devil, right?
Yeah.
It brings to the matchup. If you guys had the opportunity to name the track and you can't use Date with the Devil, what would you call it? Out of curiosity. Like,
Live
Total,
Leak.
what would you have called it? Fair enough. Yeah, Live Leak.
Oh no.
Like, Lantern, what would you have called it? But you don't have to use any of these names. You can make your own if you want.
Dang it. Date
What?
with time?
Day with Time is not bad, actually. Day with Time is
The
bad.
Devil's Time, probably.
I got one.
Devil's Time.
Zafkiel's Rebellion.
Wait, what'd you say, Emerald? Oh, sorry.
That was me.
Oh, sorry,
Wolf's
what'd you
dead.
say? Sorry, I got the wrong person. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
It's okay.
Oh, it's you, Monkey. Oh, my bad, Monkey. What'd you say again, Monkey?
Okay. Zafkiel's Rebellion.
Zafkiel's Rebellion?
Like,
you know what's
it's
funny?
like
what if I
collection
told you
item
guys?
names.
I shit you not. One of the original names was Devil's Rhapsody. There's a reason why I didn't go with that. The obvious reason.
Yeah, that and I could easily like go off and be confused with any other matchup. Half a dozen you could think of.
Track for Kurumi. I know a lot of people said never-ending nightmare. I know there's that.
At the zoo.
Like
Battle at the zoo.
I mean, I get it.
Battle at the zoo is crazy.
that sounds like something I'd expect from the Madagascar penguins or something. Right, boys.
You know
we're
what's
the
funny?
devil.
Two of like Homer's other tracks both have rebellion in the name. It fucking As Logic Rebels and then Rebellion of Despair, which is a fucking cringe name.
I think we hit 2 hours.
We
Yeah,
hit
we
2
actually
hours,
did.
boys. Okay, we're ending it here.
All right. I
Battle
guess
Clock Tower.
there's no
Final-
really other questions. We were stalling. We actually have 2 hours. Okay.
We were.
I mean, you said it yourself. We're just gonna get
We're
into 2
stalling for
hours.
2 hours. We're stalling for 2 hours.
Okay, yeah, it's been 2 hours. You guys
alright,
want to say
so-
everything?
So,
Hang on. We'll wait till 40. Wait 2 more minutes.
Yeah, I'm ahead out now because.
Bye,
Alright.
Max. Thanks for
Bye.
joining us.
So,
Yeah.
those speeds, like, you know, one con is about this matchup
What?
What?
for Time HUD to be spammed a lot.
Actually, I'm gonna
Oh,
real quick
boy.
go to the thing and make a poll.
Time
for
Hunt is
something.
funny. I don't
Happy
care what
holidays
people say.
to whoever's here. You guys could leave if you want. The presentation is pretty much over. We're just waiting for 40 to end it. We wanted to go over 2 hours, so that's the
I'm
plan
okay.
right now. If y'all or let's see, have any last minute comments or anything, any last minute questions.
To
Uh,
be
I'm
fair,
gonna
that's
gonna
what.
make-
Thank
Steve, that's why I told you to slow the fuck down in chat.
Matchup peak.
You were talking way too fast.
No, I think you told me to hurry up. I think you told me the opposite.
No, I told you to slow the fuck down.
Um,
You're not being timed. Slow down.
Immeasurable speed? No way.
Tell Speeds to slow the fuck
I'm
down.
gonna, yeah. And well, I don't know how many I'll be able to
Yeah.
do total, but like I'd be down to do them honestly, bro. Liu Kang, Jago would be so fun. Total, it's just me ranting about how Liu Kang has not been on the show yet. I
Alright.
guarantee you.
Already told which one I wanted to do if you allowed me to. Yeah. I already told Total which one I wanted to do.
Yeah. I got the free edition. I didn't pay for KF3. He was the free edition. They gave you Jango for free. Bet. Jango main baby.
Bruh. Oh right. Actually, there is one last question, please.
Oh yeah,
There is
one.
one
Go
last.
ahead. Go ahead.
Who would you want to voice both if this got an episode?
Okay. Oh, I've got
Ooh.
that asked before. Okay, so the obvious answer for Homura is if by some fucking miracle they get Christina V.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
funny enough,
Christ,
actually,
bro.
a little known secret for y'all, for those who are still here. I actually asked Brandon if he could get Christina V to staying date with the devil. Fortunately, couldn't do it. We set it for Ikigo and Tiggs. However, what's cool is that Tiggs herself actually approved of the matchup and literally said she was down to voice Homura if she gets on the show. So that's cool. I think
Oh, wait,
getting
who?
Tiggs to voice Homura is not entirely impossible.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was really cool, like females that have been on the show. I think for Kurumi, whoever
really
voiced
wanted.
as I think whoever voiced as Death and as Death Gray, I think that could be a good Kurumi. For Homura, maybe someone who voiced Raven. I'm trying to think who like did a good like. Oh, it's Kira Buckland who
Kira
did
Buckland?
Raven. Kira Buckland. I think she could make a good Homura. Which is actually funny, Lander, because Kira Buckland is who voices Iroha.
Heh.
That's a little twist, yeah. Yeah. I originally wanted Christina
Actually,
V to sing Date with the Devil.
Actually,
Fucking
Phoenix
Xiao
is
Log.
yeah, could do a good job with Komari. I can.
Yeah, I actually agree.
So hold up, just to be sure I got the right. I'm thinking of the right character.
It was Kira Buckland, yeah, Iroha, Kira Buckland.
No, was it? Who was the character I'm thinking of?
Total should voice Kurumi. Total, you want to voice Kurumi?
The weirdest part is, does
No
he even know what a
comment.
Kurumi sounds like?
I know she did. Yeah.
Okay, actually, the funniest part about this, please, you're saying have Kira Buckland voice Homura, right?
Yeah.
The funniest part is she voiced a fucking cat, which is funny to me.
She voiced Cube?
No, she voiced a character in Pokemon and just happens to be a cat Pokemon.
Oh.
Actually, well, here's one more little funny connection for y'all. One more little funny before we end it. You know the joke about the Spanish dubs for episodes?
Oh,
I
wait.
joke,
Yeah.
I
They
joke
make the
how like
same
I found this out a couple weeks ago. I joke how Homer and Kurumi would be easy as fuck to do that for because both Homer and Kurumi have the same Spanish voice actress.
Heh.
Yeah. In Spanish, they're voiced by the same person.
Huh. Neat.
Okay, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
stupid.
I'm like, yeah,
That's
that'd
not
be
the
easy
same
as fuck. Get the
person.
same person to voice both. There you go.
Easy.
Anyways, I think we can end it now. Total. Thanks for guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I hope to see y'all during the Death Battle cast when it happens. From what I
I'll be
heard,
there.
they're happening sooner than we might think. I'm hearing January, February range for like a lot of the casts. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true
Oh
or not.
boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. You guys
bet
can
it
end
will.
it now. Thanks for so much for watching. Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. You can
Bye
go
bye.
home
No.
now. I gotta go eat.
See
I'm
ya.
fucking